Oh man, like the first time I got to listen to Amaron's, I'm like listening, it's like, yeah, Amaron sounds nice. He sounds tough and manly. He's got a pleasant voice to listen to. I sound like a wuss. Not even the stuff I'm saying. It's just like the sound of the voice is like, ah. Wait, we're live? Was that before or after I cussed? Oh.
I was gonna say, don't say anything.
Uh,
That's funny.
On to the intro. You have any recommendations for an intro?
No, just welcome to the Open Chapter Society with Jaxon Kelch and Brock Kunz.
Also,
I was thinking something like that.
the mics are good enough. You don't have to
Lean in. Okay.
lean in. You don't have to yell. Just talk.
Mm-hmm.
I just get loud, so you'll just have to tell me what to do.
All right. Well then,
Passionate speaker
Officially.
sometimes.
welcome everyone to the Open Chapter Society. My name is Jaxon Kelson. With me, I have my friend Brock Kunz. Would you like to introduce yourself?
You just introduced me.
Well, I mean, like, introduce a little bit about yourself, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm an
introduce who you
IT programmer, currently working at a cabinet shop. I don't do a lot of people think I do the cut listing, or that's what it means to be the programmer. I'm not programming the CNCs, more just our sales bids, websites, and scheduling program. And I'm 24 years old.
are. Okay. As the voice of the audience, I am inclined to ask, what is cut listing and CNC?
A CNC it's a at least at our shop we just cut wood for cabinets or melamine or whatever. So it's a big machine that you give it a template and it takes the program, goes down, and you have a big like sheet of wood and it cuts out all the pieces you need to assemble the cabinet. And cut listing is, at least for our shop, we have a cut lister, and he lays out how the parts should be laid out on that sheet before the program goes to the CNC. So he can decide what cabinet goes on what sheets and stuff like that. Nothing too crazy.
All right. How is it working in IT? What are things you have to deal with on the regular?
Well, as stereotypical as it sounds for IT, lots of printers, and I mess with a lot of the sales computers out in the shop because we have our processing programs for like our mill, sanding, paint. Mess with those quite a bit. Recently, I've been more programming, which is pretty nice.
Okay. Can you tell me, can you count on your fingers the amount of times it was that you just had to unplug it and plug it back in?
No, I've done that so many times.
Oh.
And it's funny because there's been times when somebody comes and gets me and they're like, my computer's not working. I'm like, did you restart it? They're like, yes, I restarted it. And I'm like, oh, dang, this is going to be a big problem. I'm going to have to Google for this one. Go out to their computer. I'm like, you pretend like you know what you're doing, but they're like, they just watch you when you go out to that computer and you're like, look at it, click, see the error. Error doesn't make much sense to me either, but I just pretend like I'm like understand it a little bit more. I'm like, huh. Sometimes I do, and then I restart the computer anyways. I'm like, I made some changes to see if it'll change some stuff. I didn't really do anything. I just needed to restart it because the amount of times that people have told me they've restarted the computer and then I come out and found out they just turned the monitor on or off and then turned it back on. Yeah.
Which area has done that the most, do you think?
CNCs for sure.
I don't know that much about computers, but I at least know where the buttons are and the difference between the computer and the monitor.
Yeah. I didn't think that IT could be a job just because it seems so simple to kind of figure it out yourself. But it's once you're in the field, you figure out it's a job real fast. Especially with the older generation, they don't like to mess with it. Our ordering guy, he types like this still.
Ugh. How about you? How do you type? Type like a regular person or?
No, actually. So I have a gaming past, and it's a bad habit. So with this hand, I type regular. It's actually I'm actually super powered in this hand. I'll type all over the keyboard with this hand because I used to game, and in the game I have to keep using the mouse to move my guy, and with the keyboard I have to be able to communicate with all the people around me. So I'm like, so this hand feels a little bit dumb, and this hand can type way faster and way more. Jaren probably knows what I'm talking about. Can I take my jacket off real quick?
Absolutely. Is there anything you came on here hoping to talk about? If so, you'll be the first, so don't feel bad if you don't have anything.
No. I just came on here and hoped we just get deep into some conversations.
Okay,
Have some fun.
that sounds nice.
hmm
Would you talk a little bit about your early life and growing up?
Yes. I was born in Salt Lake. I was born 6 weeks early. So my due date was December 25th about, and I was born November 14th. So my parents, a lot of stuff went down. My mom stubbed her toe when she was pregnant with me, and it got infected way bad and stuff. And she went to the doctors and they prescribed her with some stuff, and that stuff caused more pain, which caused labor to be induced early. So they went to the Park City Hospital, and then they ambulance rode her down all the way to primaries or wherever in the valley. So I was preemie. I was born early. I had some. So other than that, I was a pretty healthy baby. I was thin. Like if I showed you guys a picture of what I looked like, I was like a baby with no chub or fat. I almost looked like it's still a baby, and still you're still cute, but it still looked a little like goblin-y looking because I had like a big head, skinny arms and legs and body, and ears because my family has ears that pop. We call them boss ears. But yeah, what's up? A comment?
Comment
From whom?
from Plate Mail.
Who's that?
Live his truth.
Let him live his truth.
Who's plate mail?
Lorenzo, I'm guessing.
Uh,
I'm pretty sure it's Lorenzo.
A username I don't recognize. In Kendu,
That's my dad.
he says he's meshing two memories.
Oh, really? He's meshing two memories? Or I'm meshing two memories.
We went right into the LDS hospital when his mom's water broke.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
this just in.
Okay.
The real history is that they went right into the LDS hospital when your mom's water broke.
Other than that, I lived in Park City for a while, so I lived with my grandpa and grandma. Obviously, I don't remember all of it. I think I lived in at least 3 or 4 different houses by the time I was 5, because we lived in West Jordan, Utah, and then we actually used to live in the same house that Helaman Kilich lives in right now. So we moved around a lot.
Okay. Was that fun?
From my memory, yeah. I'm the firstborn of 7. There were a lot of other kids, like Helaman's older brothers and sisters. So I grew up with them. His brother's my same exact age, so we've been friends pretty much since we were in diapers. I remember us sticking our guns in our diapers because we thought we were Lone Ranger and I think it's Tonto or the Indian, you know. I loved Lone Ranger, and I loved Spirit, Star Wars. That's what I grew up on.
So is it just anything Western or what?
Anything with guns, I think.
Okay.
We just thought was cool.
All right. I've heard that Star Wars
And
takes place
horses,
so much
but-
on a desert planet because it's supposed to be like a sci-fi Western.
Yeah, I could see that.
Mm. Now it makes sense why they all dress like cowboys, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it makes like, and the more they lean into it, almost the cooler it gets. Because even Han Solo, or with the Mandalorian, the actor for Mandalorian, he's related to. I probably get this wrong, but I want to say John Wayne or Clint Eastwood, or one of the actors that did a lot of westerns, and so he mimicked the western walk for the Mandalorian to kind of lean into the quick draw, like western feel. And I think that's what made Mandalorian really good. Did you watch it?
A little bit of it. I thought that was pretty good though.
I liked it up until the last season. I wasn't the hugest fan because I wanted him to like keep the dark saber and like reunite all the Mandalorians and like make him like a superpower in the universe again or something. Just what I wanted, but
Not to just fade into obscurity.
yeah, he gave it to the other lady. I can't remember her name. The redheaded lady she's in the cartoon series and stuff.
I didn't really like her.
You didn't like her?
I didn't watch much of the Clone Wars or any of that yet. I want to eventually just because I like the story and stuff. But at least in Mandalorian, I didn't like her.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of her. I didn't like her in Star Wars Rebels. I didn't like her, and in Clone Wars, in Clone Wars she was actually a bad guy at first, and she worked for Darth Maul and the guy before Darth Maul, and so she was cool then to me. But I think they just kind of made a weird twist where she's now like the Mandalorian leader, and she's just not that cool of a Mandalorian leader to me, especially because Mandalorians aren't supposed to. Like, I like the whole they never take their helmets off. Like, they almost have like a Spartan code, and I loved that. I think that makes it way cool.
What about other interests?
I gym a lot. I take health pretty seriously. I'm obviously religious to you guys. I don't know. I just like hanging out with people. I think I just enjoy a good old backyard gathering with cousins and family.
What are your favorite people to gather with and hang out? Like, you don't have to say their names, but like, who are they to you? You know?
My siblings are definitely my favorite.
Why?
So I have 4 brothers and 2 sisters. So for a long time, I grew up with the 4 brothers, and we're all 2.5 years apart. So 2.5 years. I have my brother just under me, 2.5 years, then the next brother 2.5 years, and so on. And we all were just tight. We grew up, we gamed together. Any adventures that we went on, we were always together. I was bound to the hip by my brother under me, Lorenzo. So everywhere I went, I was with him. He's been my height my whole life until I was, I don't even know, 16 maybe. He got taller than me pretty quick, and so now he's my little big brother. Definitely my siblings, my brothers, we all share a humor and a camaraderie that I enjoy a lot. It also helps when you share the same virtues. I enjoy talking philosophy with them and kind of feeling united. You're not alone. I can't imagine living in a family where you're the only child or you only have 2. And sometimes that's just what happens, but I loved having so many siblings, and I loved being the oldest too, because you get to see each one of them grow up, and you get to see their personality come out. I was only 2.5 when Lorenzo was born, but I remember when he came home, and I was so excited. I was pretty independent, kind of like my son right now. He has my personality. So hanging out with my parents was fun, but as a baby or as a toddler, I didn't feel like I needed them. But once Lorenzo came home, I was like, nice, this is my friend. Tried to play with him. Obviously, he couldn't move and stuff, so I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
I loved that, and I love, like I said, I grew up with Helaman Kelch's older brother, Daniel Kelch. So we always grew up together, and then he had a neighbor that's also my cousin named Asher Kunz, and I grew up with him too. And just I just love the family, and yeah, we're all experiencing the same lifestyles and culture, and that's what makes it fun, I think.
Okay. Did you ever wish that you weren't the firstborn?
That's a good question. When I was young, I always wanted an older sibling. I know I grew up in other houses where there were older kids, so I never felt too much like I was the oldest until we lived by ourselves. Especially during my teenage years, I going through school or learning how to drive for the first time or getting a job. I wished that I had an older brother, or mostly an older brother. I had an older sister too that could have like done it first, because you're the first to do everything, and you're also like the first one that your parents are figuring out like how what their style of raising kids is, you know.
Hmm.
But yeah, when I was a nervous Nelly as a driver. I didn't drive until I was 19 and getting a job and everything. It was just like everything was intimidating to me as a teenager, and I always wished I had a older sibling that could have went through it first and then kind of walked me through it or coached me. But now that I'm here, I'm really glad that I'm was the first and I got to be the one to do that for my siblings. I would never trade anything for it. I loved being an older brother to all of my siblings.
Do you think maybe that want for an older brother to show you how it was done sort of propelled you into being a better older brother who's ready and willing to show your siblings how it's done?
Yeah, definitely. That's right. You hit it right on the nose. At least for me, I don't know how it is for other oldest kids, but I after wanting one so bad, I figured out in my head what I was gonna be the older brother that I always wanted, you know. Give my siblings rides, always be there, be fun, and like listen to them, play with them. You know, really go through the hard times, go through the fun times. I hope I was a good older brother. I'm pretty sure that I am, but I guess we don't know.
Have your siblings ever said anything to affirm or deny?
Just normal sibling things, you know, you butt heads. Like I shared a room with my brother under me till I was 21. We shared a room. I've never had like I had my own room when I was 2 or before he was born. After that, I didn't have my own room, and then moved out, had my own room for about 6 months, and then got married. So, but I don't like having my own room. I loved sharing a room with him, and I was more. I'm not dirty, but I definitely didn't make my bed when I got up and stuff, and he did. He was very neat and very ordered. I so we butt heads. I think that they just normal sibling rivalry. I don't think that they ever thought I was a bad older brother or anything, and they've never said anything.
Okay.
I mean, we'll talk about like at the dinner table on Sundays. We'll sit there and talk about uh, past things that we did to each other and just laugh about it.
I want to ask, um, before I get into anything too deep, you said that you enjoyed like sharing that kind of culture you had. Would
Mm.
you first explain what sort of culture that was, and then tell me, have you ever wanted a different culture or a change of culture?
Oh, I'm gonna answer the second question first.
Okay.
I would love to experience everybody's culture all around the
Hmm.
world. I'd love to experience like all cultures, really, like family cultures, obviously. So if I could experience every family's culture, I'd love to. But I never wished for a culture different than what we have. With our culture, we're very family oriented. I grew up in a plig family, so tons of kids and just people everywhere. Always, we're all you get your own personality very quickly because there's a lot of
Hmm.
other kids, right? And I loved that. There's always somebody. There's always an adventure. Somebody's always doing something. I loved that. And even as we were older now and we're all getting married with my dad's house, everybody's going through. Like his house is like it's like a stopping point. Everybody stops in, leaves, comes in, stop. It's traffic, just always. I love that culture. I love people all around me always.
All right. That was a good answer.
Yeah. You grew up in the same culture?
Relatively the same. There was minor differences, but nothing particularly crazy, you know. I didn't have a big mountain in my backyard to climb, but we had to walk for like an hour and a half to get to one.
Yeah. How many siblings did you have?
Something like 20.
20
Yes, it
siblings?
is.
Crazy. He's got to count.
It might just be 17.
Yeah. We're a family of 7 kids.
So what was that? Culture. Oh, wait, you answered both questions, didn't you?
Yes.
You just talked so smoothly. I totally missed the part where you changed over to answering the other one.
You're all good.
I didn't want to ask more about the culture stuff, and if it was because you said that you would like to experience the different cultures around the world and like the different family cultures. Did you not?
Yes.
Okay.
I would. And even
So-
more, I would like to experience, it's as cliche as it sounds, like I would experience every country's culture. I know every Instagram person says that or whatever. But just to learn how people think, and people are so interesting to me. I'd watch people. I'd sit and listen to them for if I could sit with every person in the world for 5 minutes and just hear about their life, I'd love that. Like, people are so interesting to me. What was your question again? I totally just tangent.
I didn't even get to asking it.
Oh.
Our producer asks the question, do you think that's a big reason why you like this podcast so much?
Yes. I do. Yeah. That, and so far, you guys have interviewed a lot of people that I know or just know of. So some people I didn't grow up with, but I like got to know them later, and you guys have interviewed them. And there's different family members. I've never thought to ask them the questions that you guys have gotten out of people on this podcast, and I've really liked learning about. Like, you interviewed your older brother Benny, and he's talking about his early life and stuff, and there's a ton of stuff I didn't know about him, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I love that, and I'm excited to see like Lance Kunz's once it comes out on YouTube. I grew up with Helaman, but there was some stuff on there that even he talked about that I was like, oh, like, you grow up with them, and sometimes I guess you just don't know to ask those questions, you know? Like, I love getting into that. And
Yeah.
I love people's personalities.
Yeah, I learned just from this podcast. I will see and talk to someone every single day. Talk to them on this podcast. I learned so much more about them. It's
Yeah.
crazy. The question I was wanting to ask, though, was about the cultures. I wanted to prelude with, you said before that you would like to get to know everybody's culture and the different family cultures. So was it sort of refreshing and getting that wish, or was it like a culture shock with your wife's family?
Ooh, that's a good question. It wasn't a culture shock, and it did fulfill that wish, and it still does. Like, every time I hang out with her family, it fulfills that wish. I love, like, there are a lot of similarities, but there are a lot of differences too. They're more like, with my family, we're more, for instance, here's an example. At the dinner table, we'll put our pot out that my mom made. It's a big pot of soup or whatever. We'll all dish or whatever neatly and go eat at the table, and then we'll laugh just all day long at the dinner table. We crack our jokes and stuff. But we're more, I don't want to say germophobic, but that might be what it is. With her family, it's like one kid could take a sucker out of his mouth and pop it in the other kid's mouth. It's fun to watch, and I love that. It's different. I don't know. There's so many differences and similarities, and I feel like I do well really joining their culture, my wife's family's culture. They're a lot of fun, and like, my dad wasn't he didn't drink or really go out and like, he does cigars now, but he didn't before. So going and hanging out with other people that relax, they'll have a drink and smoke and stuff. Like it's refreshing and it's a lot of fun.
I will say this word to
Yeah.
the audience real quick. If ever you get the opportunity to have a cigar with Brock Kunz Sr., take it. It's awesome.
Yeah, he's a talker. It's awesome.
Mhm.
But yeah, I love my wife's family's culture. It's great, and I don't know. Every family kind of has like their inside jokes, and it's fun to learn about them. And for instance, like every family has an instance where one of their youngest siblings will like mispronounce a word. Like for my youngest sister, she loved unicorns, so she would, but she couldn't pronounce it. She would say wooicorn, wooicorn. So now she's way older now. And we'll all still just say it like that, wooicorn, wooicorn. And same with like my wife's family. Their youngest boy mispronounced a word, and they all still use it. Like I love just learning like this. There's a story behind every word.
Mhm.
I love that.
Have you ever had a cigar with Brock Kunz Sr.?
Me?
Have you had a cigar with my dad before?
Yeah, on Jaren's wedding. I don't know if he remembers it because we were all a little drunk. But
He probably does. He probably does.
I don't know if he remembers me being there necessarily, but it was nice. It was fun.
It's a lot
We
of fun.
talked about Atlas Shrugged and the Bible.
Oh, he loves Atlas Shrugged.
Me too.
And I do too. Atlas Shrugged is a really good
So
book.
good. I'm going to ask about that why later on. But
Okay.
before that, I wanted to ask this question. Is there anything about your wife's family's culture that you would have liked to integrate into your own families or vice versa? So your family's integrating to their families.
Oh, that's a good question. I've taken this is gonna cut a little bit into getting off track and philosophy and stuff because I like in
That's why I have this notebook, by the way. So we
okay.
can jump all around the place and I don't lose the questions I want to ask. So
Okay.
don't feel nervous about it at all.
So one of my major philosophies is everybody has something they can teach. So I grew up and there'd be times where you're a kid and you're driving through like one of the big cities, like for us at Salt Lake, and you see a homeless person. And they're homeless because they're like on drugs or whatever, and they had a hard life or made some bad choices. And as kids, we're all like, "Well, we're never gonna be like that. That's awful." Like just kind of harsh about it. But the truth is, like as I get older and as I make mistakes, or just listen to people, like if you listen to people for 5 minutes, they can teach you something. Even that homeless person who's made all these bad choices can teach you something. And it's worth listening to everybody. Like I truly think that every person has something that they can teach you to better your life.
Mm-hmm.
So with my wife's family, especially her dad, he's a wise man, and he's super observant, and I've learned a lot from him, especially with the way that he raises his boys. He has 3 boys that are older than me, so it's just his with the younger boys currently. There's a lot of things that I like that he does with them. He works with them a lot and help like it's hard to explain, but he works alongside them and explains things from a different angle. Like my dad explains things really, really well for us boys too. Like he taught us to question everything, and I love that. Like I don't know, like everything. We're like your religion, not to break faith or anything, but like question what everybody's telling you. Not that you need to be a skeptic all the time, and to me, but you'll have a stronger foundation if you question things.
Like what I was saying on He Boys, would you say? When I was saying hey, you should question everything, and like even if you're very religious, you question it. And if that turned you to be atheist, then you would have done a lot of research and you can trust that you're right. And if that leads to be religious, then you can be more religious and you can know more about it. And personally, I lean more towards the religious side, but I won't fault someone for questioning it and coming to the atheism. But
Right.
like, whatever it is, you walk away better for having questioned it.
Yeah, I think questioning is a healthy thing to do because once you answer your own questions, your foundation in whatever you believe is stronger. It's definitely stronger than what it was before. So I do believe in I agree with that. Other than as long as you're truly questioning with like an open mind, I think, because some people you just have to be open minded. I mean, it says throughout the Bible, through the whole thing, like as long as you're open minded and have a softened heart as you're questioning everything, and that's what I believe too. Because if you're emotional as you're questioning things or angry, you're gonna come to a not really a strong foundation. And so anytime anybody challenges your foundation, that emotion will almost come back.
Okay. I'm going to try my hand at wording what you said you couldn't, even though you didn't necessarily say it exactly.
Go ahead.
So would you say that what you were trying to say is that some people are more concerned with finding affirmations for what they do believe than finding the truth itself?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. They're finding justification for something that they want to believe, I think, more. And that's if whatever people want to do, but you definitely got to question yourself with everything if you want a strong foundation, I think.
Yeah. You'd be surprised how easy it is to come up with the word when you're not the one talking.
I believe that. Because it's true. I thought of the word right as you were re-quoting me.
Yeah. So, before you mentioned everyone's houses being differently and all that, how do you want your house to be? And what is like your own experience with marriage that you think could push it towards or away from that?
That's kind of a loaded question. There's a lot.
All the questions I want to be loaded.
Uh-huh. Reword the question one more time.
So, you mentioned before, like your own house culture, like with your family.
Yeah, and how would I want that culture to be for me in my
How do you
family?
want your household culture to be that, like, when people visit Uncle Brock's house or something, this is what they experience? And what things have you experienced with your own marriage and your life that you think can push you towards that goal or away from that goal?
Yes. Okay. I want the culture of my house to be somewhere that everybody can go. Like when my kids are teenagers, I want them to bring all their friends over to hang out at my house or traffic through. I love that culture for my house and getting married, especially to my wife currently, push that along because we both aim to have a relationship with everybody the best we can, and we are both people. She is more than me, but we do our best to talk and have a good time with every single person. I want that culture of like having a house and having just events and people coming over all the time. I want an open door policy. Like everybody can just pop in. Like I want people to be spontaneous on like, should we go to Brock's house? And I don't want them to be like, oh, let's call them and stuff. Like I want them to just be like, just roll up and just not come in. We'll cook them a lunch and just knock and come in. Yeah, knock and come in.
Yeah.
I would prefer to
A little text ahead.
yeah. Well, yeah.
I like that. Even when I'm that close with the person, it's like, if I show up at your house and you're not home, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I want to at least know that you're there before I go over.
Yeah,
And
I want people to let me know. Like if I'm not home and they show up, I want them to let me know. But I want to be a home that everybody's just coming to me and we're doing camp outs in my own yard and like your dad does weddings in his backyard. I love that, and I would love the opportunity for me to be the person that can do that and just have everybody like and for everybody to feel comfortable. I want everybody to come and just feel comfortable and just it's a good spirit.
Are there any ways you want your house to be different from your dad's house? Or I should say your household to be different from your dad's household.
I don't think so. I love everything about my dad's house. I mean, yeah, not that I can think of. Would you run your house like your dad's?
I would a lot, but Some of the younger kids are a little bit whinier, and I think they really relaxed on the discipline sometimes when they shouldn't have.
Oh, okay. I know what you mean with my younger siblings. It was like it felt like your parents like mellowed out as they
Mhm.
go down or whatever. And it's probably like they're learning and they're
Mhm.
finding out the things they didn't like. Like I remember getting spanked and a lot of things, which I felt pretty rebellious as a kid, and I did a lot of stuff that none of my younger siblings did. Like
How old were you the last time your dad spanked you?
I don't know if I remember because Spanx Spanx didn't really affect me all that much. Like I could go up and like get spanked and like you just force yourself to be super sad about it, but I was like, let's just get this over with.
What worked?
Oh, what disciplining worked on me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you a story, a small one. Because this is what I remember. I remembered this was about I was about 8 or 9. My mom was making chicken hot wings for dinner.
Mm.
Amazing. Like, think about that. And I forgot what I did. Like, I just remember the punishment. I lied or something. I don't know. But the punishment was I didn't get those hot chicken wings. Instead, I got to eat, it might have been mashed potatoes or something. I don't even remember. But I just remember being like devastated. Like, I still tell my mom to this day, out of all the punishments, like, the time that you withheld hot wings from me was almost the most impactful. Uh, so I don't know what kind of style of disciplining that is, but that sucked. But my dad would sit us down and have like, we always tease that he would lecture you for like 2 hours. You'd get a 2 hour lecture from my dad when you're in trouble. And as I got older, they were more impactful. As a kid, I was like, what's that shape on the roof? It's
Mhm.
looks kind of like Spider-Man. And then he would ask a question to like see if you're listening. And then I got really good at vague answers. Like, or like if I could think about it long enough, he would just start talking again. So I'd be like, yeah. But as I got older, those lectures and really reasoning with me, my dad was able to reason things well with me, and he was never hypocritical. Like whatever he was disciplining us with, he followed those rules.
Mhm.
Not that he was like a dictator or authoritarian or anything, but he just wasn't hypocritical. So every rule that he gave us and I broke it and got in trouble for, I never ever blamed him or was mad at him. Like I remember going to my room and being like, "Dang, this sucks, but he's right." I never thought that he was wrong. I think that shaped me in a
That's
lot of
good.
ways.
So, in what all ways do you want to be in the same way that your dad was for your own kids?
I would say just like that. Words for our family are very impactful or meaningful. Like everything that you say is important. Words are powerful, especially in our family. We have deep voices too, and we're loud. But watching our wording and sticking to our word is a huge thing. I love that, and I would love to be like that. I want to be able to reason with my sons and daughters like the way that my dad was able to with me, because he would explain things to me, and as a kid it made sense to me, these rules. It wasn't like you just can't, or he would like, it wasn't like he didn't discipline emotionally. He wasn't emotional with me. And I think I liked that. Whenever like, I remember getting in trouble from teachers or other people's parents, and they would get angry. And for some reason, as a kid, if the parent got emotional, it was like, you're more unstable right now than I am. So I can't respect whatever you're about to teach me or discipline me with. So, but he would reason, and there were times that he definitely got angry with me or would he yell at me as a kid, but he just reasoned really well with me, and I want to be that same way with my kids. I want to be able to reason with them so that they respect it. They're like, yeah, even though they're in trouble, they agree with what I said.
Okay. In my own experience with my own punishments, it hurt me more that my dad was upset with me and my behavior than the punishment itself hurt me.
Hmm.
Do you relate to that, and how?
I don't think that I was that way, actually. I don't think I got to experience that exactly, actually, because when he would set us down for a 2-hour lecture and talk to us, it didn't, by the end of that conversation of him disciplining us, and then he would send us to our rooms or whatever, it never felt like I don't know, like it never felt like he was disappointed or disappointed with my actions. He was just upset and he was going to explain why we shouldn't do that. Like it was just like something to solve. But I've experienced that with other people's parents, I think, like when I hang out with Helaman and Danny and their dad. And as a kid, if I did anything that their dad was like, didn't like that we did that, I felt so ashamed, and it was just like you want to die inside. I don't know how to explain it. I imagine that you do, obviously, but I think every kid gets disciplining different. I remember Lorenzo being. I dragged him along to be my partner in crime all the time, and he didn't deserve half the punishments that he got because I dragged him into it. But he got the learning lesson with me every time. But he took everything to heart. Like when we were there, he was just like, yeah, he listened to the whole thing where I'm over here just, that's pretty cool. You know? I felt bad as like in my teen. I think there was one time we were getting chewed out, and I remember just being like, okay, like we're getting in trouble again. Oh well, I'll just stare at the wall. And for some reason, I looked over at Lorenzo. I just looked over, and I could see that he's really thinking about it, and this is just life changing. And I was like, darn, like I felt so bad, and honestly, that was impactful. Like the minute I was like, oh, that sucked for him. That alone disciplined me a bunch. Like I didn't want to put him through that. He's my twin. My 2.5 younger twin.
Your brother best friend?
Yeah, he was my brother best friend. Around 2008, when financially things went awry, I think it was about 2008. I was pretty young, so it was like, to me, I didn't notice anything financial change. It was just like the parents were just doing things differently. So they're stressing, but we're like, like, oh, we're getting different meals all of a sudden, or we're moving all of a sudden. Like, maybe because we can't afford this house, maybe because we can, or whatever. So I think it was 2010, we moved out to Eagle Mountain, Utah. And that was like, to everybody, they were like, you're moving away. Like, you disappeared. And we lived out there for like 10 years. So that brought me and my brothers, I think, together, because all we had was each other a lot of the time. And we started homeschooling too, I want to say about the same time. I did public school up till 5th grade or 4th grade. And then in 5th grade, I did homeschool. And so I homeschooled to graduation, but we moved out there for 10 years. We really got tight. So Lorenzo was my double. And I just had to do everything with him. Even when I had all my my friends over that were like my age, it was like all my friends and Lorenzo, because Lorenzo has to be there. I've had people around when we were younger that were like, would be mean to him or kind of disclude him in different things. And I was like, nah, like this is my brother. Like everything, I'm not going to do it unless he's doing it with me. He has to be included always. And now it's probably the other way around because he's bigger than me and cooler. Just kidding.
You think that moving away drove some sort of a wedge between you and your friends?
No. When I was a teenager, I kind of thought that, but I was a dramatic teenager a little bit. Like I was like, oh man, they're going through like they're doing everything to with each other. I feel like I'm missing out. I remember when my entire age group was like started going to the same schools, like Paradigm or like when everybody went to Paradigm, I was like, dang, I wish I could go to Paradigm with all of them. Like that's awesome. But now that I'm here, I'm really grateful that my parents didn't because I was the type of kid that I liked being popular, and we ended up hanging out with neighbor kids out in Eagle Mountain, and I liked being popular too much. I think makes you too agreeable. I think so. Being away from Paradigm and a lot of my friends did things that I think that I would have done with them had I been there, but like early drugs
Mm.
or early drinking. I'm glad that I didn't get into a lot of that. But I don't think I've ever had a wedge between me and the friends that I moved away with. Like any day that I could go and see them, we treat it like we saw each other just yesterday, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It just brought my family together more moving out there.
I wanted to ask this question a little bit off topic.
Okay.
You've got very nice hair. Do you do stuff to take care of it? And are you ever worried about going bald?
Oh, valid question.
I think that every man is secretly worried about going bald.
Oh my.
Or openly worried about it. Or they're already bald.
Oh, yeah. I don't fear going bald too much because obviously I have hair right now and a good amount of it. I love having hair. Oh man, it is a fear actually. It is a little bit of a fear to go bald, and I see other people go bald my age. I'm like, oh, like I'm gonna do whatever I need to hang on to this hair. And I don't know how true it is, so we'll have to look it up after this. But I remember somebody telling me that if you have too much testosterone, you'll go bald. So I was like, either my testosterone just got insulted, or you're wrong. Just kidding. Yeah, we'll have to look that up after. I remember hearing that they're insulting my manhood, or
I've heard that before, and they said that's why only guys go bald.
oh,
Unless
really? You have
girls
heard that
cancer.
then?
I've heard that. I don't know how true it is. 'Cause
I hope that's not true
I've
because
heard a lot of stuff.
I like my hair.
You ever hear that, like, if you hold a tarantula and then you get one of their little hairs on your finger and scratch your eye, it'll cut your eye right open?
What?
I heard that
Whoa.
several times growing up, and then one day, it was like 2 months before my wedding, my brother-in-law walks in and is like, hey, you ever heard that thing where they say that? That was a lie. It was just so that kids at school wouldn't go pick up tarantulas.
Yeah, how many?
So it was like, someone was just like, why do guys go bald and not girls? Oh, must be testosterone. Like,
Probably
or is there
an
a real thing
excuse.
behind it?
It's an excuse for when you are going bald. You're like, what do I tell the guys?
So manly.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell the guys it's because my testosterone is so high.
Hair is feminine now, apparently.
Yeah. I think my longer hair makes me look younger too, because I'll go to the store all the time. I'm 24, and people will be like, "What school do you go to?" Or the most recent one, I was going through Costco with my wife, and I split up, go into another section or whatever, and some mom with her daughter's like, "Oh, is that your older sister over there with that baby?" I'm like, dude, what? My wife's 19. I'm 24. How did I end up being the younger one? Like, what?
How'd your wife take hearing that?
She laughed her butt off. Well, at first she was like, what? But
Mm-hmm.
she's good humored like me.
Your dad says baldness is from being emasculate,
Being bald is from being emasculate,
according to your dad.
according to my dad.
Mm. So it's pretty much the opposite. It's
I
you're
could believe
too
it. Yeah.
feminine.
When you're too much of a sub, you just lose your hair.
Oh, emasculated.
Oh, emasculated. That
Emasculated.
actually,
You allow people to make you too feminine.
yeah. I believe that a little bit because, okay, theory, hypothesis. If you're like, if your whole family or all the people around you are emasculating you or your wife and you're just getting stressed out, you're losing your hair.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I think that people lose their hair a lot because of stress, and nothing will stress a guy out like being emasculated.
Yeah.
Not financial, not nothing. Nothing in the world, I don't think.
Yeah.
And it's also a sign of health problems,
It
according
is
to your
that.
dad.
Yep.
Is there anything you do to try to ensure you keep your hair?
I do my best to try to be healthy, get out in the sun. We're pretty what would you call it? Granola? Is that what they call it these days?
Crunchy, I think
Crunchy.
they call it.
Crunchy. Okay. I think I'm pretty crunchy. Like I'll go outside, make sure I get sun and I don't know, eat whatever healthy foods and try not to eat processed stuff. I do get scared of losing my hair, especially if I started losing it while my hair was long, because I'd probably start losing it here, and then I'd have like some weird thing going on. What do you call it when it's like you're bald only here, but your hair's long here? It just
Like
looked funky.
bald cap or something.
Yeah. Huh?
Male
Male
Pattern
baldness.
baldness. That's a fear. I haven't had a nightmare yet, but I'll probably have one tonight now.
You ever think about growing a beard?
Well, some of us can only think about it. No, I get hair only here and sometimes on the side of my face, but it comes in thick here. So I'll get a mustache, but I'm like, I don't want to just be a mustache guy. Like, anytime it pops up, I'm like, cut that. Like, I cut it all off. It's all scraggly down here, mustache. Like, I'll just look bad.
I want to see you with a mustache.
The next time I come on, I'll grow a mustache first.
Yeah.
One day I'll grow a beard. I don't know when my dad... Is my dad still watching?
Yeah.
When did you first grow a beard, Dad?
He'll probably answer.
Okay,
He'll
and he'll
probably
answer
answer,
that.
You ever get any neck beard?
Oh, that is actually a fear of mine. Also,
Me too.
I'll get like stragglers way back here, but nothing on the neck. But I do get scared of just only getting hair on my neck. Ooh.
Oh.
I don't know why. Just 23?
23?
Dang it.
You're falling behind. I remember when I was,
Oh, man.
when like me and everyone in my age group started actually getting facial hair. It was me with a little bit of fur on my cheeks and all my friends. Hair on the neck, freaking under chin right here and neck, nothing else. And I was so happy that I got like, my hair goes from my cheeks down right around my chin and then just stops. Though, sometimes I have to shave it from the top side because it like climbs up to like
Your
half
eyes?
an inch or less away from my eye.
Dang. Your family can grow good beards. Like, my whole friend group got beards. Like, I swear, I think my friend Phil was, I think we were 15. He had a beard. I was like, dude, what? And at the time, I'm like, whatever. Like, when I'm 18, I'll get a beard or whatever. But all of them have beards. And I think if I was able to grow a beard, I'd look older. I'm curious how much older I'd be able to look. And I think it would make your jaw look sharper, maybe. I think it would look nice.
Your jaw looks sharper because people imagine it as being sharper when they can't see it.
Yeah, I've seen some people with like some real neck, like where their neck starts to merge with their aerodynamic like situation going on here. But they grow a beard that gives them like a jaw, and you're like, oh, and then they'll like cut it one day, and you're like, where'd the chin go? I mean, it could be me in like 10 years, hopefully not, but
No. I actually learned you get that aerodynamic shape by mouth breathing. If you breathe with your mouth a
Yes.
lot, your chin just slowly slides backwards for some reason.
Oh, I didn't know that. I knew that breathing through your nose as you sleep definitely gave you a better jaw, which is why, like, I know this is weird actually. This is a little weird. Actually, it's not. I'm totally valid. Uh, you need to have a mic, Jared.
I have one. It's just not working.
Oh, uh, with my baby right now, I'm like, I'm gonna make sure and do my best that he just doesn't have allergies through the night as a kid growing up, so that he can get a nice facial structure just through breathing it through his nose. Because I think I mean, could be odd, but I'd appreciate that as a kid if my parents did that for me. I mean, I didn't have allergies, so they didn't really have to mess with it. I had a little bit, but like, why not?
Just duct tape his mouth shut or something.
Yeah, because when you have allergies and you're sleeping, you're like, you can't breathe through your nose, so you're just like, it also just looks uncomfortable. But
Hmm.
it's funny, my wife, when I first married her, she snored, which was fun. I could sleep through it just fine,
Hmm.
except for right before we decided to have our baby, she quit vaping. Now she doesn't snore.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you ever snore?
I don't know. I've
Not
never
around for that
woken
part.
myself up. As far as she's concerned, I think I don't, but maybe I do.
Nice. I have woken myself up from snoring. So
You have?
not like I wake up in the middle of the night, but like as I'm falling asleep, like sometimes I'll just start snoring before I'm all the way asleep and just wake myself right back up.
Uh, I wonder if I do. My wife used to sleep talk all crazy too.
Hmm.
I was curious if I sleep talked. I didn't like. Have you ever been worried about sleep talking?
No, I like sleep talking. I think it's hilarious.
I think it's way funny too. Sometimes I worried about it, that I would just be like so rude to people, because like when right a little bit after you wake up and you're not all the way in the mortal plane, you're you're still in the ethereal state, and your siblings will be like, get up or whatever, or making noise or whatever, and you're just pissed, like, for like an irrational amount of anger is just in you. So I'm worried that like during sleep talk I'll just be the same like anger level. Like, I'm a really patient person, but for some reason you hit that fine silver lining in the morning and I'm just irritable.
You ever do anything like anything at all in that time, or just glare at people?
Oh, I don't know if Asher remembers this, but when we used to wake up early to play the computer, because if you got up early enough, you can get on the computer before anybody else did. And it was first come, first serve, which we were defeated almost single-handedly every time by his older brother. But he would be like, Brock, wake up, and I was a deep sleeper as a kid, and he got me right in that silver lining. I punched him so hard, and Danny's just like, I told him not to. So that's the only time that I can remember. I usually am like, try to be aware of it, but
Do you ever?
My wife commented and said, Jaren sleep talks.
Jaren sleep talks.
Yeah, our producer sleep talks.
Is it like gibberish, or does it actually like have conversation?
A bit of both, I think.
We'll find out when she answers.
Well,
Oop.
I've heard a recording of Jaron sleep talking once, and he was just sitting there like, like what?
When did you
You showed it to me.
If I showed it to you, it's because I said something funny.
No, you were making a joke about being like a beatboxer in your dream or something.
He's just a wizard over there.
For me, one way to guarantee that I'll sleep talk is to have a deep conversation with me as I'm falling asleep. My wife learned that, I think.
I was gonna
It's
say
like-
that's at everybody's wife.
I know. But like, we'll be talking, and then she's like, "And what do you think about like our kids? How do you want to raise them up to be sure?" We're walking into the red house. I just start describing my dreams to her. She's like, "What the heck are you talking about?" I'm
What?
like, "I had a dream. Some friends and I went into a red house. There was a dog in there."
That's fun. Oh,
Mhm.
it's a trap and a trick actually to like I wonder why. Why maybe it's not all wives, but from everybody that I've heard, it's like you get right in bed and you're like, okay, I'm locked in, like next step is to fall asleep and they're like initiate conversation. Like Jared's nodding. But maybe like I don't know. Maybe it's because it feels like everything's done. Like I can understand that kids are in bed. I mean, but even before I had my baby, for some reason like maybe I should just right as I get home be like, all right, let's go both sit in the bed so that we can just push A on the bed and enter deep conversation.
You think that
But-
would work?
Huh?
You think that would work? Or did she
I don't
just
know, but
try
we
to
should
squeeze
try
you
it.
two in one day?
We'll try it and then we'll reconvene here to talk about it.
I would do that. The problem is, if I'm on the bed, I'm falling asleep.
We both have different interactions with the bed. I try darn hard to stay awake for most of them, and I think I've done a good job so far. Sometimes though, I'm the one that actually is more awake than her. Like, but not initially. Like I'll start going to bed, and then she'll say a word, and it's right into one of my philosophies, maybe one of my passions, and I'm like, I don't know, trigger word Lord of the Rings, maybe. And I just start going off, and I'm more awake, I'm going deep, I'm going on tangents, and then she's asleep. I'm like, oh, this is what it feels like. I don't feel like I just laugh about it and tuck her in, you know.
You think she just gets bored out by it, or is it like calming to hear you talk about it?
I think it's that because I think most wives are way interested in like their husband's philosophies, which is also I think kind of one of the reasons that they marry you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're dating a lot, you get a lot of one-on-one, and then the girl gets to learn about like how you operate. Like for me and my family, obviously, like our words are important to us and keeping our word. One of our things is being on time, or just different philosophies, you know? Or one that she liked a lot from me was one time we were camping and she had a soda in her hand and she's like, "Oh, I'm full, but I don't want to waste it." And I'm like, to us, it's actually more of a waste to force yourself to eat more than you should.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Oh, like I like that." And that actually led into like an hour or 2 hour conversation of just philosophizing about how I believe or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I think every girl meets a guy that they think and they like that. So I think every girl, it puts them to like they're at peace with it. So I think with my wife, it definitely puts her to sleep to just sit and listen to me talk about the things that she loves.
What about talking about the things you love? You ever talk about those to her?
The things that I love.
The things you love that she doesn't love. So like, I know her. I grew up around her family a lot. I know that she likes Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Her family, a member of her family would probably be excommunicated if they didn't.
That's mine too.
So like, obviously you love Lord of the Rings.
Mhm,
So
yes.
something not like that. Something you love that she doesn't.
Oh, is there something that I like that she doesn't? Food. I
Like in
love-
general, or
well, with just some things. Like, I love Italian pastas. I'm yes, both of you are
You're pretty
nodding your
good.
heads. I love pastas and I love spaghetti. Spaghetti is. I'm pretty sure that when God brought manna to the Israelites, it was spaghetti. Just kidding. But she is not a fan of spaghetti and she doesn't like mushrooms. And I get it. But I love mushrooms. I love spaghetti. And mushrooms is it's hard for most people, but I love my pastas. And she likes like her family does. And maybe it's just every time I go there, but for some reason we end up with like some kind of Asian meal. And I'm like, I actually don't like Asian food that much. Like, give me a good spaghetti. Give me a good, like, well, even German food. Give me some
Mm,
meatballs, or I like brats, hot dogs. I mean, for most of my life, I was vegetarian, but I do love hot dogs. They're so dang good. And she loves those too. But the Italian food, I'm always trying to convince her to make pastas throughout the week.
mhm.
You should go with that vegetarian stuff like
I was going to, yeah. Why were you a vegetarian for so long? Especially when you seem to love meat so much.
Well, I didn't really have too much a love for meat. It was just like different meals that had meat. So like hot dogs was huge, and in my memory they're still good. And well, after being vegetarian so long and then having one, I was like, well, no, it was still good. It was good, but the after feeling of it in my stomach was not good. It was like, why does it feel like you know when the people say the expression hot dog water? No,
No, I've never
you've
heard.
never heard that?
I
Okay.
know, like, when you boil hot dogs and then that's called hot dog water after,
Oh,
but I've
well,
never heard
for
an
some reason,
expression to describe something else.
well, with people that I hung out with out in Eagle Mountain, they would hot dog water was like a I don't know, they just would randomly say it. It was a slang term, but that or just the hot dog water in general, it felt like all that was in me. I didn't have any of the hot dog water, but after eating a hot dog, it's like, why does it feel something feels wrong?
that. I have a
Hmm.
theory.
You have a theory? Okay.
Being a vegetarian, the foods you eat can't fill you up as much. So maybe you were just full.
Real quick, did the
Being
audience hear you?
I'll repeat it.
Okay.
Okay. So Jaren said being a vegetarian never fills you up. So maybe eating a hot dog really gave me the experience of being full, and that's what it was. Oh, maybe. I mean, I don't like being full then. Just kidding. But when I when I was way small, I remember my mom got a bucket of KFC too, put it down in the basement, and I loved I loved that. It was so good. I actually haven't had KFC since. So I haven't had KFC since I was in that house. I probably was 5 or 6, but for some reason my memory's so good. So every time there's a KFC right on the road to my house, and every time I drive past it, I think about that memory. I'm like, it'd be good to try that, but I know that it would not be the same, and it wouldn't be good because all the people that do eat it and are in the car with me are like, dude, what? What? And I'm like, in my memory, KFC is so good. Just Kentucky Fried Chicken, freaking amazing. One day I'll try it.
You're not still vegan, are you?
Definitely not currently. It's
Were you vegan or were you vegetarian?
was I vegan or was I vegetarian? Uh, I think I would call it that we were. I think it's considered clean vegan because vegans can still have like alcohol or sugar or just processed foods still.
Is that not a vegetarian? Is that Sorry, I'm getting
It's still
mixed up in
vegan.
my-
Vegan just
Yeah.
means no animal product, no meat. So
Yeah.
so no cheese or dairy, but also no meat. But they can still have everything else.
Your dad said Oreos?
Oreos are still vegan.
I
Really?
don't know. He just said Oreos. That's all he said.
Oh, I totally would have guessed they had milk or something in it.
Yeah. So I don't think that being vegan is healthy, but I do think that I think I would call it that we were clean vegan. We kind of just did our own thing, but mostly because my dad had health issues in like right before we moved to Eagle Mountain. For some reason, a lot of stuff just went down around that same time, at least in my memory.
Your dad says plant-based diet or a clean diet is what we called it.
Plant-based diet or a clean diet. So
Hmm.
plant-based is probably the best way to. That is the best way
Okay.
that to put it. I don't think being vegan is healthy still because, well, I don't know. We're all just trying to figure it out with the foods. I believe in the Book of Mormon, so and the Doctrine and Covenants, and in there they have a word of wisdom, and that's kind of a diet guideline that like I'm not part of the LDS church, but that's what we try to follow or we aspire to. But right now we just eat whatever. Like we'll try to eat healthy at home, but when we go to like her parents' house or to my parents, like we'll eat whatever. And we used to be super plant based, but there's days now that I'll go into my dad's house and they're all having just chicken and barbecue sauce and stuff.
Okay. You mentioned the word of wisdom just a second ago.
Mhm.
How is that a dietary guide? I haven't really read it, so I'm just going to assume that much of the audience hasn't.
So it's kind of like, well, it is just I would call it a dietary guide. It's not like it's not a commandment for Mormons. It was just I guess most people, when I've talked to them about it, they've told me that it's like a recommendation for them to have good health. And I think of it kind of similarly to when I think it was Moses, when he talks to the Israelites and tells them no pig, no eating. Does he say directly no pig, or does he just say he goes through and is like no cleft hoof, or I forget the whole.
I don't remember if they specifically just say no pig, but they describe a bunch of different characteristics, like, for example, saying anything from the sea, if it doesn't have scales on it, don't
Yes.
eat it. So that would mean like no
Or anything
lobster,
that has
crab, or
legs and
shark,
stuff.
you know. Um, any
Yeah.
animals on the ground. I think he was saying not something with a split hoof, or
It cheweth the
Only-
cud.
yeah, right.
It had to have a
hoof,
split hoof and
and
cheweth the cud.
chewed the good.
Right. So I think of the word of wisdom kind of like just an extension of that, because I for sure like to follow that. Like I don't like to eat pig well, I'll go to restaurants and I love shrimp, so I do that.
Nasty, you're wrong for that. Do you like to eat crickets?
Do I?
Yeah. Then why would you want to eat water crickets?
Really? I was thinking that shrimp are more like, because they eat the poop in the sea, right? So they're like they're like the
Do you like to eat
maggots?
flies? Shrimp are just sea bugs.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
No, the full idea there is pretty disgusting, but for some reason they're so good.
Ugh.
I don't know why. They're like I've enjoyed. I like seafood.
I don't get how you can put your teeth in and go to the point that your teeth actually touch all the way through it. Ugh.
Just like this. Just kidding.
Well, your teeth didn't touch
Yeah.
that. So.
I'm just kidding. No, so yeah, word of wisdom is kind of like some guidelines to eat cleaner, and I think it also helps with allergies and stuff. Like they just tell you to eat stuff that grows within the season, which scientifically that does actually help, especially with allergies. Because, like for an example, have you ever heard that if you eat honey, that the bees put together in your region, that it helps with your allergies? So if you eat Utah honey, yeah.
I've never heard that, but
So
I've
it's
heard
kind of like that since the whatever fruits and veggies are growing in your region will help you acclimate to like the temperature and kind of the environment. So when it's winter, you'll get more berries and nuts, and I think that thickens your blood and warms you up more.
Hmm.
And during warmer months or whatever, you'll get the veggies that can cool you down more. And I think that's true with animals too. If you eat an animal that's in your region, it's healthier for you than from somewhere like Hawaii or whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how, like, I couldn't tell somebody that the word of wisdom is right or wrong, but it's just something that I like.
Okay. What are a couple of things it says specifically to do? Like,
So eat everything.
sorry.
No,
Like,
go ahead.
can you quote it exactly is what I
Oh.
mean to ask.
I don't know if I could quote the whole thing because it's an entire section, but it talks about. Let me think.
You just have to do one line and I'll believe you.
I want to say it's like eat all herbs and fruits in the season thereof. Do not eat of the flesh or of the meat unless in times of great famine or winter. Did I get that?
Not word for word, but yeah.
Okay. And then it does state that like grain is the staff of life, and that should be like I guess the spine of your diet, I'd call it.
I personally
interesting,
believe
huh?
meat should be the thing that we eat most.
Yeah, it's yummy. I still have a hard time with meat. I think after not eating it so long, I don't know. Like I'll eat it sometimes, but it's not quite the same. When I was a kid, it was really it was really good to me, but
So
it's not the same.
that's the first line of word of wisdom is to never badmouth your dad.
Apparently, Brock's dad says the first line of the word of wisdom is to never badmouth your dad. Is
That is wisdom.
that true, Jaron? Can you validate that? Number 5. That inasmuch as any man drinketh wine or strong drink among you, behold, it is not good, neither meat in the sight of your Father, only in assembling yourselves together to offer up your sacraments before him.
That was the only thing I could see that had something to do with your dad.
Oh.
So not even when you're drunk should you be an idiot in front of your dad.
Dang it.
You broken that rule so far?
Just kidding. That's why I couldn't do whiskey. I had to do orange juice because I knew you'd watch. Just kidding.
I did it because I'm driving.
But yeah, I don't. I've heard so many diets in my life. Like, I'll explain a term to you that made the most sense to me. But do you remember ever being a kid and you get sick or something happens, like you get injured or something, then your mom's like, "Oh, I don't know what to do," and then your mom's friend is like, "I fed my kid nothing but pumpkins, and now he's just the strongest, and he's just cured." It's like an anecdotal story, and your mom's like, "Fantastic," and for some reason, for the next 3 months as a kid, you're just eating nothing but pumpkin. You know, have you ever experienced something like that?
Skim milk or 2%.
Skim milk or whatever.
My aunt was telling my mom that her kids were having runny noses always, and they were. I was friends with them. I hung out with them every day. And then she switched over to like 2%.
Mhm.
No more runny noses. And so I was like, all right, we're doing that. My family's not a runny nose family. We didn't have that problem.
Yeah, a good amount of this, like a good amount of the things that the moms did, I think, probably did work. But a lot of them, I call them mom diets because it's like they almost do it out of, like, a lot of moms feel like they do it out of trend. It's like all their friends are doing it, so they do it.
Like a Facebook doctor.
Yeah, and as a kid, I was like, I don't want to be like. It's so confusing. Like, why is it that we can't just staple down a diet? Like, I wanted to, and I remember telling my dad that I was like, why is it so hard to try to juggle, like, or not juggle, but like we have to investigate every food and all that, or try to figure it out. Like, I wish God just gave us a diet. And then he was like, he did. And I was like, what? So I went and read like the Word of Wisdom, and then I read I don't even know what section it is that Moses talks about the diet for the Israelites. Deuteronomy.
I thought it was Leviticus. I could be wrong.
I think it's Leviticus. But as a kid, that stuck to me. I was like, oh, like, I still think there's a lot of guesswork, and maybe it's laziness. But I just wanted to find something that felt more real. Like, I don't care what everybody eats. I'm sure they don't care what I eat. But if I'm just trying to do what God said, I feel like that's got to be the healthiest thing for me, rather than going off of like every 2 years. It seems like a new trend of food or something is changing.
Can you give me one specific example of what you had to deal with because of that?
Which one? Just kidding. We did a lot. But the thing is like the moms, they weren't wrong with most of the trends that came around. It was just like, it would just get difficult because we'd hit it hard for like 3 months as a kid. But I remember when we were in the Riverton, Utah house, and I don't know if you guys ever had it, but there was like, I don't even remember what it's called actually. I'd have to go home and ask my mom after this, but it was like an oil that was sweet. I don't remember, but I remember like we came home from school one day, and for some, like, I think my mom was talking to her sisters or something, or she probably actually went and asked or Googled or whatever for one of the kids, because, one of the kids is sick, and then you're all getting the supplement sometimes. But yeah, I can't remember what it was, but that one stuck out the most. It was like, it seemed like it was gross initially, but they put something in it to make it yummy. But as a kid, I was like, this is yummy until I swallow, and then it just is like fish oil or something. Like, it was just so oily. I don't know.
Was it the fish oil?
It might have just been flavored fish oil or something. I don't know. We did a lot, and a lot of it I'm sure helped.
I did want to take a second and ask the audience if they have any questions for you. So if anyone's got one, just type it up. We'll read them off.
Any comments or questions?
Before I go into something a little bit deeper, because I wanted to take like a break and talk about something a little bit lighter before
Before we go deep.
Yeah.
It says, thank your parents for your diet because you still have your hair.
That's true. Yeah. That fish oil is the reason I have luscious locks still.
Our first question was to thank your parents for your diet, because that's why you still have your hair.
No, I appreciate every single bit of it. I think that's also why I take my health a little bit more serious. Like, because my parents were able to take the step to try to figure it out and question things, I'm able to take the next step, hopefully, and not a backward step, in taking care of my health. And I'm extremely grateful that, like, it was hard for my moms and my dad. Like, it was tough.
Okay.
So, Curtis says, what's your favorite memory?
What's your favorite memory?
Just any memory in my life? Like, that's hard.
Yeah, your favorite one.
I had a lot of impactful moments. Do you have a favorite moment in your life?
I don't know. I do have a lot of them.
I think I randomly just think up my favorite moments, like different things. It's just kind of like, when you're walking around and you'll see an object or you see a person or you're talking about something, it's just like a trigger. And then you're like, oh yeah. And you remember that memory and you tell whoever's around you at the time. Like, I do that often. I don't know if I have a specific favorite memory.
I know one of mine, because it's hard to choose one specifically. I usually just go like, one of my favorites is finding out when my wife was pregnant.
Oh, I did like, that is a fun memory. I loved the ultrasound because it was like it was exciting, and I knew, like, I'm like, we're having this baby, and you're dad. Like, what's greater, And we go to do the ultrasound. We went to Southtown Mall. That place closed like right after we left. Like, we were their last customers. But we go in, and this lady does the ultrasound, and you see the baby like move and like react, and you're like, and it tries to get away from the ultrasound. It doesn't like the baby doesn't like. And at the time, we didn't know if it was a boy or girl. But when I saw on that screen, it was like changed my reality. It was like, I will use anybody as a meat shield for this baby. I will do anything to make sure that this baby gets everything he needs. Like it was like a switch. Like I just was like, nothing else in this world matters. Nothing is scary. Nothing. I'll do anything. I loved seeing the ultrasound. I'm excited for you. It'll be fun.
Thank you. I'm excited too. Do we have any other questions? What is your favorite firearm?
What is my favorite firearm?
I'm going to assume he means type of firearm, and you don't have like
A
some old
specific
rifle
gun?
named Bessie in the backyard or something.
I think he wants a specific model. Man, shooting guns is fun though.
Mm-hmm.
I think I still like the Colt 45. And that's not even my gun. That's actually Lorenzo, my brother's gun. I liked shooting that the best. And maybe it's just the revolver type. Like firing design. I don't know what you would call it. I just like revolvers. They're a lot of fun. I like unloading them, loading them, shooting them. They're fun. But the Colt 45 was powerful. It was like, this is a man's gun. When I first shot it too, it was heavy. It was like, and I faked not being surprised because I think he let me shoot and everybody was watching, and I shot and then I was like, oh my, like in my head I'm like, oh my gosh, I almost dropped the sucker, but I'm look around but pretend like I just had that all in wraps. I'm like, that was pretty cool. But I love the Colt 45.
It might just be that I like cowboys, but like anything that's revolver or bolt action, I love it.
I love bolt actions too. I don't know. Mechanism. That's the word I was thinking. The type of mechanism for how it fires. But I like revolvers a lot. And I do like bolt action. Bolt action is cool. I got a bolt action 22 and I like it, and I just barely got a scope on it, and I haven't shot it yet, but I'm excited to. Yeah.
Paisley asks, what was a really hard moment in your life? Or both of your lives?
What was a really hard moment in your life?
There was a lot. Do you know yours off the top of your head?
I can think of a really hard moment in my life.
Let's hear it. It'll give me time to think about mine.
One hard moment in my life, and I don't know if it's to be like this was a real struggle or like a physical struggle or like that my life became hard in this moment, but one of the hardest things I had to do, and I say had to because it wasn't an option, was asking my wife's dad if I could marry her. And then a little bit of lore here.
Okay.
It was 2 months before he gave me an answer.
So
So
he
not
made you
nagging
sit
him.
on it.
Not nagging him was freaking probably the hardest thing
So
I've ever
he
done.
made you sit on it for 2 months. Were you sweating like the entire time? Or was
No,
it like,
I'm not a sweater.
oh, you weren't afraid? Not even like asking him?
I was like teeth chattering all the way until I walked in the door. And then I was calm, cool, and collected. And then I was teeth chattering for 2 months after that.
We're sweating.
Yeah, you were.
No, I wasn't sweating.
Well, he
Yeah, that's what I meant.
he didn't like, actually
Okay,
sweat.
okay, yeah. I was nervous, and then in the moment, I'm never nervous. You know, I'm nervous before every podcast, and then we actually get down, push record, and it's like, what though? We're recording? Oh, ha, you know, and
Yeah.
we make jokes and we hang out. I'm not nervous right now. After this podcast is like, you know, like
Like, are you, is it a nervous mixed with excitement?
for the podcasts, yes, it's not crazy nerve
Because
wracking.
that's what I imagine.
It's like a little bit nervous. Like everybody I ask says that I ask really good questions when I ask about what they think about the podcast. And so what if one day is like I don't ask good questions?
You just draw a blank.
What if
That's
I
fair.
did that a little bit with Lance's. I'm a little bit concerned that the podcast takes a hit from it. It was mostly fun, and I'm mostly not like that. My nerves don't typically get ahead of me, but I do have little concerns here and there. Though it was like with that, there's do I, I want to marry her. Can I marry her? If he says no, I can marry her, but I risk alienating her from her family. Is that
Yeah,
something
you have to
I'm willing
elope,
to
huh?
do? So there's just so much to take into account. I'm very glad he said yes. Oh, it was nerve wracking. It was nerve wracking for 2 months after.
Oh man.
What was
Yeah.
yours?
Oh, I won't lie. My parents made my life pretty cushy. Like it's pretty easy life for me. Um, I remember a lot of bad moments. I think if I think of some earlier ones, I remember one time we found out that there was birds in our apple tree, and the apple tree's huge. Like it was a green apple tree. Now when I go to that same apple tree, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a big tree. Like as a kid, we were just climbing all the way to the top, but like crazy. Like I was not scared of it, but I think I would be a little bit scared to climb it again. But we went to the top, and I saw a nest with eggs in it, and a bird, and I was like, "Whoa, this is way cool." I don't remember my age exactly. I was about 8 or 9. So I got Helaman was there and Lorenzo, and so I'm like, "All right, let's go get some stuff. Let's get these eggs and show my mom. It'll be super cool." So we go out, we get in the garage, we get some gear. I think I grabbed a stick because I needed a stick to reach it. And so we came up with the idea that they would, we gave them baseball mittens to catch the eggs, which that was, that was stupid. But to us, it was like, man, this is a good idea. So I climb up there and I push the eggs with the nest out.
Plastic red home.
Plastic red hoe. Yep, that's right. Plastic red hoe. I used it, pushed it out, and the egg smashed it. It landed a bunch of it landed on Lorenzo, I think, and there was blood and stuff because it was live bird eggs, right? And we're like, oh, like it was kind of a shock for a lot for us. Like we're kids, and I don't think I've ever seen like that much. Like for an egg, it felt like a lot of blood, and I don't know.
Wait, blood from Lorenzo or from the egg?
From the egg, blood from the egg. I didn't think that there would be that like enough blood in an egg, but apparently there was a good amount. So we we go to my mom and she cleans up Lorenzo and stuff, but we got in huge trouble. And I already felt like I don't remember those boys how they felt at the time because I was so in my own head about it. It felt weird. The parents got mad at us. The power went out that night, and when the power goes out, we decide to do cookies and milk.
Hmm.
So they pull out and do cookies and milk, and they didn't let us do cookies and milk because they're like, it was a storming outside, and I remember my dad looking at me and he said, or it might have been my mom, but I think I'm pretty sure it was my dad. But he looks at me and he says, "Do you feel bad?" And I'm like, I do feel bad. And he's like, "Well, there's a mom bird out there that's not gonna have 2 babies and doesn't have a home in that storm right there." And I was just like, that that was awful. Like I don't like to live that memory. It was a little kid memory, but it was tough. That was a tough time in my early kid history. One more question.
Lorenzo asks, "What is your favorite Bible quote?"
What is your favorite Bible quote?
I don't actually remember the full quote.
Is it in the Old
Um,
Testament?
no, it's in the New Testament. Yeah, I don't remember it, but it goes something like this. I can try to say it, but I'll probably butcher it. But Jesus says it. It says he's talking to the Pharisees, and he says, "Whatever you look for in the Bible, or in my teachings, or in any teachings, you will find." Something along those lines. And I really liked that because I think it's so true. Like, whatever I want to believe or whatever anybody wants to justify in their life, you could read the Bible and find a reason to do that because it's such a massive book. And that's a huge reason why I also sit down and when I say prayer, I always try to be like, okay, don't look for what I'm trying to verify or validate for myself. Just take the truth from it. Because if I wanted to validate if I want to validate anything that I'm doing, I just can because there's everything in there. Only God can really, he's the only one that can give the truth and we can all kind of just validate what we're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
It does.
Like if I wanted to, I could probably validate to 4 different, like I can go to 4 different countries with 4 different religions and be like, this is why I'm doing this is why I'm doing this, and they can use the Bible to reason why they're doing what they're doing too. Mm-hmm. And I think it's because we all will find what we're looking for. You will. If you're looking for the truth, you will find it. If you're looking for justification, you will find it. If you're looking to disprove something, you will find it. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I can read it too if you want. Is it the quotes or you're trying to find the quote?
So, it might have been, ask and it shall be given you, seek and ye shall find, knock and it shall be opened unto you. Or, according to your faith, be it upon you. And the last one, seek and ye shall find, for every one that seeketh findeth.
It's none of those. Maybe I'll just go and find it after this and send it to you guys.
Okay. Personally, my favorite Bible quote is the one I'm reading.
The one you're reading?
Yeah.
The entire book?
So yeah. The whole book is so good. There are parts I don't care that much, but like when I'm reading it, the part I'm on is my favorite part.
Yep.
If you ask me when I'm not reading it, it's like, oh, probably Kings or Exodus. Those are my favorite parts of the story. But when I'm reading it, if I'm in like Judges or Isaiah, even if I don't understand what's going on, I love it.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm the same way. Whatever I'm currently reading or whatever's fresh is definitely my favorite. I love reading that stuff. I love reading in general, though. I'm at you do obviously. You got this bookcase behind you. When I was younger, so I used to go and hide, get away from chores, find a corner, and read. Mm. And I would read so much, my parents ended up grounding me off reading, which I got made fun of for that. People were like, "What? You got grounded off reading?" But it was right after I read the whole Harry Potter series, and then at 14, I decided I was going to reread them. So I reread them, and I read book 6 and 7 in the same day. I was a good reader, and I loved reading. And my mom was like, "You need to be part of the family. Like you're grounded." But I was also avoiding chores and stuff and trying to hide away reading.
Paige says she got grounded off reading too.
I'm glad I'm not alone.
She had that too. I also had that though. I hated reading so much, and then
that's funny.
My older brother Benny was like, "Read this," and he handed me Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. Dude. And I looked at it and was like, "Well, you love this book so much, I actually do kind of want to read it." And so I read it, and then I was like, "Oh, I don't hate reading. I just hate the books that they make me read at school."
Yeah.
Because, like, some of them are great. In 12th grade, like, all the books I read were so good. There was, like, I actually didn't care for Carry On, Mr. Bowditch, and that was the second time they had us read it. But Sackett's Land by Louis L'Amour, John Locke's A Second Treatise on Civil Government. We read the Constitution and the Communist Manifesto at the same time, jumping back and forth. That was really good. All those in 10th grade, we read Where the Mountain Meets the Moon. 9th grade, we read Ender's Game and The Hobbit, The Little Prince. So
you like a little fantasy and a little like...
Yeah.
What would you categorize like the Constitution or the Communist Manifesto? Is that like
philosophical? I like to
so you like philosophical books?
I do like philosophical books.
Okay.
Basically, to sum up all the books I like, it's the books where there's a point to reading it,
Okay.
you know. So even it may seem silly, like Watchmen, for example, by Alan Moore. It's a comic book. If I say read this comic book, you're not like,
What?
this isn't going to change my life somehow. You read it, and once you finish, you're like, whoa, that was awesome. I should read it
I do
again.
like books like that. I do.
I don't know if
And
you read that one. You can read it. I've got it. You can
I
borrow it
actually
if you
haven't,
want.
but I would, especially if it's a comic book. That's fun.
Yeah.
I actually didn't read a lot of comic books growing up, just because our library out where we lived, it didn't really have them. But that's funny that you had the experience with Percy Jackson, because that was kind of my experience. I went to school. I fought the teachers on reading. Like, I freaking hated it. Like, I was like, this is the worst. Went to the library and I was like, I can choose what I read. Whatever. I'll just, like, I think I heard Harry say something about Percy Jackson. So I just pulled it off the shelf because we were required to grab a book. So I was like, I'll just grab this book. And then when they want it back, I'll just go and give it back to them or whatever when the week was over. And we were required to read 20 minutes a day too at that school, and my mom would have to sign off on it. Super dumb, but so I read 20 minutes. I was like, that was awesome, actually. So I burned through that book. I'm like I loved reading, especially the fantasy books. I read even at the time I was pretty young, but I liked Magic Treehouse. But all the dogs they gave us were, or all the dogs, all the all the books they gave us. I was just about to mention a book about a dog. All the books they gave us were so boring, and all of them, this is the dog part, pertained to a dog being abused by an owner. And I was like it was a story about, like, they gave us like 3 different books where a dog, I forget the name of the book, but the owner was abusive to the dog. The kid would go and like feed the dog through the fence and see it every day going to school, and then eventually he steals the dog, and it's a whole thing. I was so bored with that book, and we had a book club, me and Harry and a bunch of us, and we had a list of books we were supposed to read, and the class was cut into sections on teams or whatever. Our team read 2 books by the end of the year, and every other team read like 12 books. Just because the amount of goofing off and stuff that we did. We just like, I also hate being forced. Like, I have to do that. No, I don't want to. But when I got to choose to read on my own and choose what I want to read, I loved it. And I buried my head in a book, became a bookworm. Like, in my class, I ended up being like the second, because they would time your reading, and then you'd get tickets per every hour that you read or whatever. And I had the second most. I got beat by somebody, but it's fine.
If you had 1 day left to live, what would you do with it?
If I had 1 day left to live, what would I do with it?
That's a good question.
That's deep. I think I would pray so much that day. I think I would be in constant prayer. I don't know why. Prayer just kind of give me peace, or it's just a peacefulness when you're in prayer. I think I would just be with my family the entire day. Just live it to the fullest, exactly like the way we do. Preferably like a Sunday. And I would spend time with, like, a little bit of some one-on-one time with my son, some one-on-one time with my wife, and then a lot of prayer and just having time with myself, because I think that just is a wise and peaceful thing. I would visit with Lorenzo for a while though, and kind of reminisce, and then I would just hang out with the family, and I want us all to treat it exactly like it isn't my last day.
Sweet.
How would you do that? How would you?
Well, if I had 1 day left to live, I would probably spend a lot of time writing.
Oh,
Being with my
writing's
wife
a good
and my
one.
family. So I'd like write a bunch of letters. Maybe I like to write books and stuff, so I could like write outlines and stuff. Because one idea I have is that if I know when I'm gonna die, I have a lot of books I'd like to write. I have like a list of like 45 or up to 48, I think, different ones. And that's not
Dang.
including series. That just would have like the
Just
first
like
book of a
ideas.
series on it. And so I'd want to write down letters and maybe like send some of these ideas to my friends, like write this book for me. You know,
Yeah,
even if it's not that good, write it for me.
that's a
And then
that's a good one. I think I'd adopt that. I would actually like to write down all of my philosophies,
mhm,
give it to Brocky, my
mhm.
son Brocky.
That was another idea is to
Yeah.
write down
That was a good one.
a bunch of stuff. Basically, everything I would want to teach my own kid, because right now my wife is pregnant.
Hmm.
Everything I'd want to teach my own kids, I'd want to have that written down. Everything I'd want to say to people who I wouldn't get to speak to in that day, get that written down. Maybe even things to people I would get to speak to that day, because I can't have like an hour conversation with 25 different people that day.
Yeah, that's true. That would be hard. Writing is a good way to speak to many.
You mentioned you had something that you wanted to dive into after the questions.
Mm-hmm.
Might want to do that.
Yeah. How long have we been going so far?
2 hours.
Whoa.
Oh.
That was the easiest 2 hours yet. This one's been fun.
Wait, before we dive in, awkward bathroom break. I'll be right back.
Have fun with that. I'm going to fill up my water. You want me to top yours off too?
Can you top this off?
Wait, what do I do while you guys are gone?
You jump over here and keep the crowd entertained. No, I can talk for a sec. That was an awfully quick 2 hours. This has been fun. I hope that this is a good one.
I think a good podcast is one I don't have to edit.
Should I repeat that? Jaron says he thinks a good podcast is one he doesn't have to edit much.
All right.
My turn.
Does the audience have any comments or questions for me while Jax is gone? How many viewers do we have, Aaron? Nice. Can you see specifically like what viewers you have?
If they are following.
If they're following, then we can see them. So we have 7. You guys should all follow so we can see who's watching. So you see 5. So there's two people that aren't following, and we can't see who they are then.
Yes. And Lorenzo asks, what words of inspiration do you have for any young men out there?
What words of inspiration do I have for young men out there? Keep peace with you. Everything always works out. Even though you could be experiencing hell right now. Afterwards, you'll look back and you'll appreciate the wisdom from that hell.
That was good. I walked in halfway through
Thanks.
and I liked it. All right.
I think about that often. Like,
One more question.
okay, one more question.
Curtis asks, is there any event in your life that shaped who you are today?
Ooh. Is there any event in your life that shaped who you are today?
I mean, we've gone through some. Watching and talking to people is probably what shaped me the most. Like as a kid, I loved, like I was telling you guys, like I love culture and I love personalities and I love people. I would just enjoy watching people all the time and learning from them, and everybody would give you some wisdom. So I think doing that is kind of what shaped me the most. There are definitely events that shaped me. Like, I don't remember the exact conversation that I had with my dad, but when I'm going to say 12. So when I was a kid, as the oldest siblings, I was a manipulator. Bad. And for most kids, you subconsciously use what gets you what you want. And when you get away with it, you use it more so you get better at it. And I think I manipulated, especially because, like, for instance, Lorenzo's my younger brother. If I'm 3 and he's 1, or he's 2 and I'm 4, it was easy to get him to do stuff, you know? But I was a manipulator, and I had a conversation with my dad, but he told me, like, wouldn't it be cool, though? Or wouldn't it be more true or interesting to see what somebody actually would have done if you had not inserted yourself or inserted your thoughts especially because when I have 4 younger brothers under me, they look up to you and they will repeat what you do. And they will. They have. Like anything I've done, they've done also, and better. And that stuck with me. Sometimes I still regret it, even though it was like I was young. Like, you're just a kid and you obviously make mistakes and manipulation sucked. But now I love willpower and I love everybody's free will. Like everybody's free will is so interesting, and it also leans into actually like I loved people. I loved people's personalities. So let's put them in, like, ask them a question or let them do things, let them learn something, but don't mess with it and just see how they're going to do it or what they say. Don't pressure them to do anything. Like when I remember watching people go to stores with their siblings, and their sibling would go to buy like a Bionicle. Do you guys remember Bionicles? They were sick. But they would go to buy a Bionicle, and their sibling was like, "What? I wouldn't buy that. Like this guy was way cooler." Because they were grabbing, like, they had movies, and he was grabbing a character that wasn't really in the movie, but for some reason to him it was really cool. And his sibling was like, "What? You don't want this guy? Like this guy's way cooler." And they weren't forcing him to buy it or anything. They were just like, and he was like, "Oh yeah," and he put it back and he got the other guy. But I was like, I want to be the brother to think about it, and I did a lot. Like, bring him to the store, for instance, and let them choose and own what they thought. It's unique. Their personality is being made. I want to do it with my sons and daughters especially. And especially with my boy right now, because the oldest always looks up to the dad. And then the other kids will probably look to him. But I want free will to be a big thing. Like, I want to see his personality come out. And I don't want to shape his personality. I want to see exactly the way it is. And I think most people do. I watched Yours and Benny's, and I think Benny said something like he doesn't want to change his son's personality too. And I think most parents are like that. And you have to be aware, obviously, and we're all human, so we're flawed. But that conversation with my dad really shaped me. I love free will, and everybody should have it, and they should do everything with their chest. I tell people that a lot. When you make a decision, do it with your chest, because I was a timid kid. And I'd be like, I don't know, should I do that? I don't know, should I get that? But now I'm like, just do it with your chest. And I'll tell people that because now that I'm a more loud and confident person, they're like, oh, should I? What do you think? I'm like, just do it with your chest. If you're going to say something, don't say just kidding. Do it with your chest. Kind of like my way of saying just have courage. So I am hugely a fan of free will. And anytime I can not try to influence and change somebody's direction, I want to let them figure it out. People will, if I'm going to go into this a little bit more, it's a little bit of a passion. When somebody is learning something, if you give them the answer, they'll remember the answer, but they didn't really learn it until they taught it themselves. So in science or biology, when somebody asks a question, their brain becomes more receptive for the answer rather than me inserting and just saying an answer. Does that make sense? So I'll kind of come up with a fake example. I'll use guns, for instance. If my brother is shooting a gun and he just can't seem to get it right, but I know I could tell him how to do it really easily. I could show him. But if I do that, maybe he will do it, but it won't click the same. His brain will go into a more receptive state if he asks me. So if he messes with the gun, and if I just wait 5 minutes longer, and then he goes, Brock, how do you shoot a gun? Or how are you so accurate? How are you hitting the target? Then I go, oh, I do this and this. Boom. It clicks and it stays way more. And then he will. So when you see a kid messing with something, sometimes let them mess with it longer, especially when it's something that's not really that important. Like, let them mess with it until they ask you the question. Because when they do, then they'll remember that. rather than you just giving them the answers. Because sometimes if you insert yourself and just give them the answer, they'll just take that object or anything in the future, and they'll just won't do it in front of you because they don't want you to just solve it for them or whatever, you know?
So, way back at the start of this podcast, you said you were a pretty religious guy.
I like to think so.
And this was big question I was holding on to this whole time.
Okay.
Why are you religious?
I'm religious because that's what makes the most sense to me. Like, the more I learn about religion, and I guess in my perspective, God and his kingdom and its ways, and obviously we're trying to get as close as we can to living by those ways, they make more and more sense and give me more peace and happiness on this earth. Like, I've never been able to recite scripture for people or debate it or argue it, and I've never really wanted to either, because it kind of back to the willpower or the free will thing. Like, I'm not going to change your mind and you're not going to change mine most of the time. I do like learning about people and I do want to, but if we just butt heads about it, that doesn't do anything other than cause us to resent each other. And it'll cause us both to, when we open a religious book, instead of finding the truth, we're going to find what validates our argument. And I don't want to do that. So I like religion, because religion is also lifestyle. Like, don't tell me, I think it's dumb when people are like, so on Sunday we do this, this, and this, and then throughout the week we just live like everybody else. It's like, I don't like that. Religion is lifestyle. Like, keeping my word is very important to me. That's part of my religion. Like, your philosophies are your religion, or should be, to me. So that's why I like religion. I think your lifestyle and your philosophies are your religion. But yeah, and I obviously love the scriptures and the teachings that I read right now, just because they make the most sense and give me them, and they seem the happiest to me, I guess. I think that's how it goes for most people. When it makes the most sense, I think that's what people believe in, probably. But I'd love to talk to people about it and ask them why. Like, I always love to ask people why. Why do you believe that? Why? Because it's interesting.
Yeah. I love learning about it, and I love learning about what other people think about it.
Yeah.
And this sounds off topic, but bear with me.
That's fun.
Why do you like Atlas Shrugged?
Atlas Shrugged is way good. Other than the fact that I like storybooks or fantasy books, and that's considered fantasy still, right?
I think it's a bit more on the sci-fi side.
Really? Okay.
Technically,
Well,
because it explores the idea of like the engine that harnesses power from the atmosphere.
you're right. I like
That's
sci-fi
a
and fantasy
sci-fi
books.
item.
The author did so good with that book. I'm a fan of capitalism, for one, and there's so many good things to take away from that book. It's hard to get a lot of it, but for instance, I read that book and it's kind of going through the steps of I forget the main character's name.
Dagny Taggart.
Yeah, Dagny Taggart. So she's going through her society, and their society's slowly going communistic, right? And they're seeing the steps as to what gets you there. And the writer lived in Russia, so she saw it. I think it's funny for us to read, because that book was written in 1957, was it?
I don't know the date exactly.
I think you should Google that. I think the year was 1957, but that's a long time ago. And she wrote that mostly for people that weren't in communistic countries yet. And now that it's 2026, was I right? 1957? Sweet.
Heck yeah.
Thanks, Jaren. Most of those things in that book have come true. Like, we're living in those times right now. Like, this book is gonna soon. It's not gonna be sci-fi to me. Like, it's gonna be reality.
Yeah.
Like I went back and I read some people's notes, and I would like to read more. I'd like to read more people's notes on during that time of that book and be like, did this seem ridiculous to you? And they're like, would they ever think this would never happen? Like, this is America. Like, that's crazy. This is not real. Because it's real. It's happening today. we think we're the freest country in the world, which is probably true, but we're living in a time that most people, it seems like most people can't afford houses. Like I think in Utah, or at least in Salt Lake Valley, the statistic is you have to be making 150,000 if to own a house. You should look up those statistics, but that's nuts.
That is nuts.
I hope I'm wrong about that statistic. So all the philosophies in Atlas Shrugged, so good, but it also feels like realities. And I think everybody should read it just because you'll see more things. Like you see almost the agenda that our government is trying to push, and it feels like the next step in that.
150.
150 for
150.
yeah. So I was right.
Whoa.
You have to have 150 on average, or earning 150,000 a year on average to live in Salt Lake Valley, which is nuts.
You ever watch Ayn Rand interviews?
I have not. I didn't know there were.
You should look them up. They're good.
I should.
But in one of them, she's asked, like, if she's writing a prophecy for the U.S. And she says, no, because prophecies are a telling of the future. You might think about it as a prediction or a prophecy if it could be changed. I'm giving you the prophecy of what happens if we stay on this course.
Like a great if almost.
I've given you a rundown of what to watch out for, what you will see happening, so that you can make it not go down this way, so that you can do better than the characters in the book.
Was I wrong about that?
Yes. 15 to 20%.
15
Okay,
to 20%.
that's
Okay.
better. 15 or 20% of Americans make 100,000.
Also, Star Trek is sci-fi because they use fictional science that is based off of reality.
Right.
That's what Atlas Shrugged does, is fictional science that's based off reality. There's not much magics going on in Atlas Shrugged, is why I say it's not fantasy, though if you wish to describe fiction as fantasy, some people do, and I guess you could, considering that you can fantasize things.
Yeah. I don't know. Wait. Sci-fi stands for science fiction?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. I never put that together. I've read so many books. Somebody probably told me that in the past. I totally spaced that.
Surely you had to know.
That's funny. That feels like a revelation to me. Like that makes so much sense. That's fun.
But yeah, your dad's right. Star Wars is
Yeah,
fantasy.
because they use the Force, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Anyway.
I would love to watch those interviews of Ayn Rand.
You should.
I read another one that she wrote. It used to be in a chat that you made. Like you were like, everybody read this
Anthem.
book. Anthem. I liked that one too. That book was a little bit, for me at least, like, I don't want to say mind warping, but like it gave me a different angle on thinking about things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like Anthem was so interesting to me. It would be hard for me to recommend Anthem to people just because maybe if they opened up with, I love Atlas Shrugged, then I'd be like, read Anthem. But if they haven't read Atlas Shrugged, then I don't know if I'd recommend Anthem just because it feels more deep or more, I guess, straight to the point maybe.
Mm-hmm. I read Anthem, The Fountainhead, and then Atlas Shrugged.
I haven't read The Fountainhead, but I
you
want
should.
to.
The way that I like to describe it is like the difference between Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged is in The Fountainhead, there's a spectrum of capitalist to socialist. And so the main character is all the way capitalist. The main antagonist is all the way socialist. And all the characters fall somewhere on this spectrum. In Atlas Shrugged, you have the society playing out, going capitalist to socialist and seeing how that works out.
Yep. That's true. I do want to read The Fountainhead. I loved it all. I did have a little bit of a small thing with Atlas Shrugged because with Dagny Taggart, it felt like every guy that she respected, she would just sleep with. And I was like, why? Like, just marry a guy. Obviously, like, I don't know. Like that felt
Yeah.
it felt like we were on this like path with her, and it was interesting. We're like, okay, society's going this way, and she's kind of fighting it or dealing with it, and she learns a little bit more about the truth uh from people, and then sleeps with a guy because she respects him, and then we're back on that path, and it's like, why?
Yeah.
I imagine that she had some kind of reason for that, but
The reason I think was like they explain in the book that you feel a sexual attraction to the people who you like your values resonate with each other.
oh, you said not you. What do you mean?
My values line up with my dad's values.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Your values line up with your dad's values, but you don't feel an attraction towards him.
Fair point. But
Fair point. I think he means like another gender
um
with the same values.
I
We don't
really-
know.
I don't really know.
That's funny.
I liked the narrative point of her sleeping around. I didn't like the fact of her sleeping around. So like how they're pushing the narrative and like trying to teach you how these characters are. I liked learning those things. Or I like knowing those things. I didn't like learning them, I should say. And it is
Yeah.
almost heartbreaking to me when I'm like, "Oh, you read Atlas Shrugged?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I say, "What'd you think about it?" And they're like, "Oh, I hate it." And I say, "Why?" And they say, "Well, Dagny was just sleeping around the whole book." And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm genuinely sorry for you that was your takeaway.
It sucks that's what they clung onto for that book, because there's so much good in that book. It does bother me too that I guess like Game of Thrones is a good example. Do you know anything about Game of Thrones?
Some. I read the first one book and most of the second one.
But most political storyline where there's like different houses and different factions, the marriage and the sleeping around is kind of part of the story. But I think it annoys me, like for Game of Thrones, for instance, it's like I get it. This guy sleeps with this chick and they have a baby, and that's the reason that he has like he's the heir to this throne and he's the heir to this throne or something like that. I get that, and that can be part of the story, and I don't mind that. But it feels a little manipulative to me, because why do you need to put that in there when you could just hint at the fact that that happened, or just say that this is what happened, rather than like even in the movies, like they just put the whole scene in there, and it's like I don't want to watch two people just bang, you know? And there's a million very like if you're a writer at all, you can think of a lot of ways to get around that and still let the readers or the watchers know what happened without it. But when they put it in the movie, it feels a little rude to me, because if you're a guy, then you have a brain and hormones, and then you automatically put a positive on stuff like that, because they're abusing sex to get a positive out of your brain, if that makes sense. Like I don't like that. Feels rude, and maybe I'm just thinking about that weird, but it feels rude when they do that. Like I get there's adult movies and stuff, and I'm not against it, but when you could have worked around it, and they're like, no, we couldn't have, but you put something like that in the movie, it feels like you're trying to make me like it because you're using my psyche against me. I don't like people using my psyche against me, I guess.
I like to use Wheel of Time as my example for this because,
I haven't read it yet.
well, I'm not going to give you a crazy spoiler. But there's
Okay.
like times where there will be husband and wife in their room talking about something. He takes off his shirt. They kiss. Next chapter. And the next chapter is like the next morning, and he says he's got scratches on his back from his wife. And it's like, okay, they got it on. And like, I didn't really care to know that they got it on. But at the same time, I'm really glad he didn't go into it. 'Cause
Yeah,
there's some
it
people who like
annoys me
go
when they
into
go
it.
into it.
You'll know, like,
Have,
The
how-
size and
yeah.
shape of it and stuff.
Have you read Red Rising?
hmm
How far have you gotten?
I read all of them.
Okay, I haven't read book 6 yet, but that book too much info for me. Like,
hmm
like I don't need to know the intimacy of these characters. Like, why do I need to hear? Like, it's weird because it's like you're telling a story fast paced with the fighting and stuff, and then you slow down for these romantic moments, and it's like you slow down enough that you're now describing their breaths and their movement. It's like, what?
hmm
Like, we went from this cool action packed to and why?
hmm
It's crazy. I mean, some people probably do like it, and that's great. If free world, free country.
Personally, I think anything more than a passionate kiss, you can skip over and just suggest that it happened.
Yeah.
You know, it's like in the books that I'm working on myself, you know that the characters got it on because the girl is pregnant and has a baby later on.
Mhm.
I don't even
Yeah.
say when they got it on or any of that. It's just like you put two and two together if you want to.
Yeah. I don't mind whatever people are into. I just personally don't.
I do
Like-
sometimes.
Me too. Just kidding. I just can appreciate a writer when they can just work around it, or I just don't like that
Mhm.
aspect.
All right. Another big question. I know you're going to want to take a lot of time answering this.
Okay.
Why do you like Lord of the Rings?
I saw you write that down as soon as I mentioned it.
Mhm.
I'll tell you a little bit. Story mode. When I was very little, very, very little, I remember watching the Battle of Pelennor Fields with my dad. It was before I was even in school or anything.
Mhm.
And it was the coolest thing to me when I was a kid. And I got older and I was like, Dad, I want to watch Lord of the Rings. And he's like, no, there's scary stuff in it. You have to reach this age or whatever. I was like, dang it. So I ended up reading the books once I found out I actually liked reading, read the books, and then I remember my parents saying if I watched how it's made, then I could watch the movie too. Yeah, they have discs on how Lord of the Rings is made, so that shows like the actors dress up and how the Gollum character does his movements, and he has like I think he had a green suit on or something, or not maybe it wasn't a green suit, but he had something on, and the whole thing or whatever, just to kind of prevent you from being scared or whatever. So, other than like Lord of the Rings was kind of like an achievement of age. So once you were old enough to watch it, it was super awesome. But I loved everything about it. Like J.R.R. Tolkien did so good, and I love the Silmarillion too.
Mhm.
Like I used to read the Silmarillion twice a year, and Lord of the Rings once a year, just so I could keep fresh on it because I liked it. Up until the year before I got married, I stopped. I loved the aspects that J.R.R. Tolkien was able to capture, and I love anything that has a lot of lore. Like
Mhm.
he created the languages for many different races in that book. He created like cultures. He create like the world building is cool. I guess you could call it that. I love world building, and he did a lot in there, and I love the aspects that he's able to get. Because I also think, like Aragorn, for instance, in the book or in the movie, is like a good example of true masculinity, of being a sheathed sword, but so dangerous.
Mhm.
How does the quote go? It's you don't want to be a nice man, you want to be a kind man, because a nice man can't hurt a fly, and a kind man can, but chooses not to.
Mhm.
You want to be a dangerous man, rather than somebody that just can't be dangerous.
Mhm.
And I think Aragorn is that, because it's like Aragorn, you look at him, you're like, this dude could play with my kids, but also this dude could kill everybody here.
Mhm.
Like, how do you get both these feelings at the same time? I love that.
Mhm.
There's a lot of aspects of it that I love. I loved it's so good. I could go on and on.
What's the thing you love most?
Definitely the world building and the emotions. And I loved, man, I could go on for a long time. I loved like Frodo and Sam's relationship. I feel like the movies didn't do it as good.
Mhm.
Like Frodo felt like he was always like 2 scenes away from just rolling his eyes and being high about the ring, you know? like
Mhm.
and it felt like Sam was dragging him a lot of the time. But in the book, they're like you're like, oh, Frodo is a hero. Sam didn't carry him through, and they both had a fantastic relationship. The whole scene where Frodo kind of like tells Sam to go home, that doesn't happen that way in the book. I need to reread.
It doesn't happen at all in the book.
Yeah,
In the book, they walk into Shelob's cave, and or Shelob's lair, as it's called in the book.
yeah,
And what happens is Gollum makes an attack on Frodo, and so Sam attacks Gollum, and he chases him off, and he chases him all the way through this tunnel. And right when he has his sword at Gollum's throat and he's about to kill him, he hears Frodo yell from the other end, and that's why Sam isn't there to save him.
yep,
And
that's right.
so he runs back there, and he shows up just in time to see Shelob sting Frodo, and then he fights her.
Yeah,
And it was the coolest scene in all the books.
it was pretty dope. But I loved when he put on the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I know they didn't do that in the movie, but because in the books they made the ring almost like, in the movie they made it look like if you just put on the ring, doesn't matter who you are, you turn invisible.
Mm-hmm.
But like when Sam put on the ring, what it did is it just made it so that he could fight like one of the ancient elves of old. So then he goes through the tower and he just massacres all the orcs to get Frodo. I'm like, that's dope. And I get that that's a hard thing to put in a movie, that the ring kind of does something different for each race, I guess, or not race but person.
Mm-hmm.
But it would have been sick, like when Sam puts on the ring and he just
Yeah.
kicks butt and then gives it back to Frodo. I think, was he still tempted in the book to give it back? It seemed like he was a little, but
He was tempted in the book. I liked that whole scene.
Yeah.
Like, he finds out Frodo's been stung, or stung.
finds out that he actually
He
lives.
goes over, fights Shelob off. Then he has that heartbreaking moment with Frodo where he says, like, don't go where I can't follow, all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then orcs show up and he stands up and says, is this how Samwise Gamgee dies? Building a wall of bodies around his fallen master?
Dope.
And then he says, like, no, Sam, just like your dad always said, you got to start using your head. Someone has to take the ring and someone has to finish it. And so he hides, and then he hears the orcs say he's not dead. Then the next chapter, you're in Frodo's perspective, and he wakes up, and the orcs are terrified. And they say there's some elvish warrior who is invisible, or they suppose him to be invisible because anyone who's seen him dies. And he's just massacring everyone. No one knows what to do.
They made the hobbits way cool in the book, because even Pippin and Merry had more like stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like when Pippin stabs the Witch King.
Mary.
Or
Merry
Merry,
stabs the
that's what I
Witch
meant. Merry stabs the Witch King. The reason the Witch King died was because he had that specific sword that he gets from the Burrows.
The Barrow-wights.
Yeah.
All four of the hobbits got one.
Yeah.
Frodo swapped his out for Sting, but they were daggers made specifically to undo the enchantments protecting the Witch King.
Yeah. So that, like, I know that Eowyn helped kill the Witch King and stuff, but really, like, they should have put more on the hobbits. Actually did a lot, because they almost, in the movie, it almost felt like the hobbits were kind of like a nuisance and kind of baggage for the actual, like, competent characters. Other than Sam, obviously. I mean, I still love the heck out of the movies, and I wouldn't change them.
They're
But
awesome.
it would be cool to see like them to make the hobbits cooler, because in the books, I would recommend to everybody to read that, because the hobbits are actually way cool in the books, especially the Hobbit War after, when they destroyed the ring and everything, and they go back to the Shire and it's in shambles, and Pippin and Merry are both taller. They get taller from
The water
drinking
in
the
the Entwood.
and the Entmood water. There was
Ent
an
draft,
actual,
I think they called it.
yeah, Ent draft or something. But so it made him taller. That's why in the movie, when they both wake up in the woods, and was it? I think it was. Oh yeah, it was Pippin. Pippin's like standing up, like And Mary goes up and, wait, I'm always taller than you. What are you talking about? I'm always taller than you. And then he kind of like grows a little bit bigger, and then give me some of that.
Ooh. I'm gonna
Loved
tell you a
that.
short story real quick. So last year, like a week and a half before my wedding day, I was doing some studying, and sometimes I'll study stuff like occult things because
Mhm.
I find that stuff interesting to put in the books I'm working on.
Yeah.
And I went down a short rabbit hole of demonology. And I
What?
looked outside and it was like pitch black. It was not like necessarily learning all about demons, but like,
Demonology is a real thing?
yeah.
Wow.
Um, I was learning some stuff, and then I looked outside and the sun was down, and I was like, I'm not sleeping tonight. I'm so scared. What am I supposed to do?
That sounds awful.
And then from deep in my heart was like, I need to watch Lord of the Rings. That's gonna make me feel better.
That's valid. It's funny that Lord of the Rings often gets like attributed to, maybe I'm gonna botch this, but almost like a righteous aspect. But it's almost like, why is it that the Lord of the Rings captures almost like a as much peace and safety aspect as reading the Bible? Does that make sense? It's like, how is it that you were able to listen or read something scary, and usually people's first reaction is to listen to Bible stories or something after, but you watch Lord of the Rings and it's like the equivalent,
Mhm.
because it's like, I don't know. I think there's just a similarity there. Maybe I'm smoking something, but
No, I think it's partially the reason that classic fantasy is better than modern fantasy is because
yeah.
like modern fantasy has lost a few things. One of them that I
Mhm.
like to bring up is the wonder. It's like there's no
Yeah,
wonder in like Brandon Sanderson books, for example, when you
that's true.
understand everything. And another one is the big one for this particular context. The characters are conventionally good in Lord of the Rings. You're watching good men become great.
Yeah,
And that's a similar thing that happens throughout the Bible. Like David is just some shepherd,
yeah,
and throughout Kings, you watch him become the warrior king, one of the greatest of all the Israelites.
yeah,
Moses was a baby literally marked for death, who didn't do anything wrong, is a good person, and he rises up to be the one who delivers or, at the behest of God, the one who delivers the Israelites to the promised land. It's the same idea of watching good people become great people,
yep.
and often through struggles and hardship. And I think that does kind of lean into my next question. So, Atlas Shrugged and Lord of the Rings, in what ways do these two books affirm or deny your religion?
I think with Lord of the Rings, it affirms what I religiously think what masculinity should look like. That's what I love about Lord of the Rings. I think it really complements what I think about what my religion at least builds what men should be.
Mm-hmm.
And Atlas Shrugged leans into the freedom, obviously,
Okay.
because the capitalism and the free trade. And I think that to take away people's free trade and free will is to take away, obviously, the free will that I religiously think God gave us all.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be it.
Okay. That was pretty short. I was expecting a longer answer.
Yeah.
Um, I did want to say the way that I think about that first one is basically equal and opposite, like Newton's third law. There's a lot of things in the world that are equals and opposites. For this
Mhm.
one, I'd say you have no power to create without having power to destroy. You have no power to protect without having power to harm. Because let's suppose you're coming to fight my wife.
Mhm.
How am I to protect her if I have not the power to confront you already?
Right.
And, to remove myself the ability to do something evil also removes the ability to good.
I like that. That's very, I would say poetic. There's another word that I like to use that's kind of different just because because it's different, it sticks out. You seem like somebody that I think if there were two aspects that I had to use to describe you, it would be literature and courage. Those are two words that I would use to describe you as a person.
Thank you. That's really heartwarming. Makes me feel very prideful. What are two words you'd use to describe yourself?
Handsome. To be honest, I actually like to let other people come up with what they think and then hear how they would describe me. I would imagine probably just easygoing, patient, or just, I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit aggressive.
No. If I had to say, the first one would be confident.
Oh, good.
The second one, it's going to sound kind of like confident, but I would say you're very sure of yourself or self-assured. And it's not necessarily the same thing as
Just
confident
assurity,
as it.
I guess.
The difference is like being confident in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So like in a social situations, you're confident,
Yeah.
But when you're all by yourself and things come down to it, you can lose that confidence without losing that security and assurity of yourself.
Stable almost.
Mm-hmm.
No, I appreciate that.
Integrous.
Hmm?
Integrous might be the word.
Integrous might be the word.
Integrous. I don't know. if I've
I
ever
do
heard
think of
that.
you as someone with integrity.
Oh, good. I like to try to be. I love integrity.
Me
But
too.
confidence is something that I like. Like we've talked about in this podcast, I was a pretty timid kid, so confidence is something I always work to have.
Mm-hmm. All right. What's the quote of the day? I didn't say the last one yet. I always like to say it and then give a little break. And, maybe if you'd let me actually say it and then wait a second before.
The producer and Jax are having a
I forgot.
debacle here.
All right. Our last quote of the day was, "Envy is the thief of joy."
Envy is the thief of joy. Who said that?
The keeper.
The keeper.
Oh, that's
For
right.
anonymity's sake,
That's right.
we're not saying his real
Okay.
name.
Dang, I almost thought you were gonna say who it was.
I'll tell you after.
I
if you
like
want.
that though. Say it again. Envy
is the thief of joy.
Thief of joy. I like that. My quote of the day is, "Every person has something to teach."
Why'd you choose that quote today?
Kind of goes along with a lot of what I talked about and what I believe in free will. But yeah, I don't know if I heard that anywhere, but as far as
It can be an original if you want.
copyright Brock Kunz.
The quote of the day
Junior.
is, it can be a quote that you want to share with people that you found, or it can be a quote that other people can take from you.
Yeah. I like that's my quote. That's usually one that I always use.
Okay. And because I don't have any questions right now,
That's okay. Should we talk about who I admire?
it's exactly what I was going to ask about.
Right on. Okay. I actually have a few people that I admire and would like for you guys to get. I can help you with most of them.
Good.
My dad. And I know that
Knew
many
it.
people have already said that probably. Yeah, my dad would be great to see on this podcast, and he is somebody that I look up to. Jared Ewing is, yeah, I love him to death, and I admire him a lot. He's incredibly smart and, yeah, just incredible person. And you already had Hillman, and that was one that I recommended too.
So I have him on again.
Yeah, bring him back. Hillman and Lorenzo. All people that I admire, and they are all incredibly good people. But yeah, I think that's all. I'm sure I could keep coming up with people. I like a lot of people.
Everyone could keep coming up with people.
Yeah, But those are people that I love to sit and have a real deep conversation, and they're really interesting. And yeah, I can't express how much I love the heck out of all of them. Those are all my Jonathans to my David.
Now you got past all the important stuff. You can start on the bullshit hour.
Almost 3 hours in.
We can end if you guys want.
Up to you. You're the guest. If you're having fun, I'm having fun. If you're having fun, I'm having fun.
I'm enjoying it. I'll end whenever we feel like we're burning low, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So you say that once the serious stuff ends, now we go into just BSing it.
Typically, at the 2 hour mark, we just start BSing. So you've set a new record.
It will quickly be broken if you guys get my dad.
I know.
I'm hoping for it. I need to
Oh.
get him on a Saturday so I can start at like daybreak.
Yes.
Maybe I spend the night here too, just so that I can start right when I wake up.
You should take this whole setup and set it up like outside and just do cigars as you talk. That would be fun. Have you guys ever thought about doing like you interviewing multiple people? Like turning
Yeah.
this into like a love seat, I guess.
I have wanted to do that, like get grandma and grandpa on at the same time. One thing that would be kind of hard though is that if you can see the computer at all and the screen on it, you can see that I'm all the way on the end of one side.
Yes.
And you're all the way on the other side.
So we'd have to back up. Well, I guess I don't know what you would do.
Watch this. I can zoom out a little bit.
All right. So it looks like he can go about a foot on either side more.
Well, we can also like scoot this table back a little bit and kind of scoot closer.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it would be fun. I do like the one-on-ones better just because you can really dig deep and get the deep conversations out of them. But
Mm-hmm.
I think for fun hour or whatever, getting a second person would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
You can also have multiple cameras.
Hmm.
That's true.
The only problem is if I'm doing it live, I would have to manually switch.
Yep. I was gonna say I know a lot of podcasts that do that because anytime like so for instance we'd have a camera on both of us, a camera on Jaxon, a camera on me, and then anytime he gets a drink of water, it'll swap to me, so it seems like we're always just talking. Or if I'm talking, then it aims at me obviously, but
Yeah, and if there are times when I have to edit and it makes it look weird because it sounds nice, but it looks weird because you will jump in your seat. So if I just hide that with a camera
trick.
trick, or a scene change, that would be one benefit from it.
Maybe
Yeah,
we should
that'd
do
be
that.
Could be nice.
I feel like
For
the
edits,
whole-
it's probably stellar.
I bet it is because the whole podcast,
Yeah.
been switching all over.
Yeah.
But I get antsy. Like I tell people that, like I've heard one comment I've gotten is that I look disinterested and I'm like fidgeting with my pen the whole time.
Mhm.
I love Lord of the Rings. Watching those movies, I like pick up a stick. Last time I was watching it, that exact time,
Mhm.
I picked up a big stick and just started flipping it around and focus on the movie at the same time.
This is your dad said this. Read it.
The last one or the last two?
Last two.
All right. Interview first son, then interview first a son, then with the same exact question and concepts, the father of that son, just to see the similarities and differences between their ages, experiences, and opinions on the same subjects. Then you slice them and air them as if they were interviewed together. That's a good idea.
That's pretty cool. That would be pretty cool.
Fun. I was thinking to interview your dad and reference your page and be like, well, Brock said such and such a thing. What do you think about that? And
It
ask-
would be super cool.
basically go in detail about what he thinks about what you think. And then I do think it'd be fun to do you guys together.
Uh-huh.
It might be interesting because interesting in like the difficult way. Because what if I go,
It could be tough.
and Brock, what do you think about this?
What?
The other
Both of
Brocks.
them? Just wait until my son's old enough because we have 3 Brocks now.
So in about 18 years, we can do you all together.
That'd be cool though. We'll just do the Council of Brocks. how let me rephrase this. How many people have you guys interviewed that have gone into your what do you guys call it? Just your bullshitting hour?
Well,
All of them.
all of
them?
them have.
Even Helaman? Seemed like he was just done and went and got ice cream.
I don't remember in Amaron's if we went into the BS hour because we didn't really know what we were doing.
Yeah.
You guys weren't sure what you were doing on the first podcast, so you don't know if you went into the BSing hour.
I'd like to do it again with him, but
With you.
Aaron, but
Do another
where he gets
podcast
to
with
say
Cameron.
all the same stories, just pretend we didn't do the first one.
Because he has a lot of stories he didn't tell.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I thought your guys' first one was really good for a first podcast.
It was, I think.
I think it
That
was
first one.
because I was entertained, but I could definitely tell when he was like just rambling versus not rambling. But it's really tough. But like I was gonna make a comment on your fidgeting with the pen. I noticed when I watched your guys' podcast that you're fidgeting with the pen, and it could come off as like you're disinterested, but because I know you and your family, your whole family like fidgets.
Mm-hmm.
Travi's the
Yeah.
guy, but you guys all fidget, so I understood that, but I just noticed it.
I like to think that when people see me drop the pens, they know it's not because I couldn't catch it, but because I wasn't paying attention to the fidgeting. I was paying attention to the talk.
Yeah.
But
At this point, you guys just got to do it every episode because you
I
pretty
know.
much have.
I know.
But we also need a reference that we need to get Tegan on here.
You're right. I forgot to reference Tegan this episode. What are your thoughts about Tegan?
I think he's awesome.
He
And I
is.
think that he has a lot to say, especially with like he's done so many adventures, and with the way that his dad is, I can't imagine that he wouldn't have so many stories to tell,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know, like Uncle Zach has so many stories that he could tell and so much
Mm-hmm.
good things.
Tegan pretends he's boring.
Yeah, no, Tegan's fun
Or
as heck.
I guess he pretends that he's had a boring life. Because he's a lot of fun to hang out with.
It's hard when you're on the spot. Like when you're on the spot, you
Mhm.
can blank, So
Yeah.
I can get that fear. It's like stage fright, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe we'll do like episode 100. The legendary Tegan
Anniversary
finally gets
day,
the face.
Tegan, and make it just a picture.
Cardboard cutout.
Yeah, cardboard cutout of Tegan. That would be funny. Also, it would be fun to come back on, but I interview you
Mm,
and then interview our producer.
I want to interview our producer first. We just need someone to sit with
I'm
the
down for
headset
that.
on. Yeah, once we get someone with the headset on, I don't even know if we do that one live because Jaren's our edit it guy.
Mm.
I mean, I'd like to if we could, but if it
Could
doesn't
probably
work
figure
that way.
something out, but
Mhm.
yeah, it would be fun to have you guys both interviewed.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess probably by the 100th podcast, you've essentially interviewed yourself to your audience if they've watched them all.
hmm
But it would still be fun to have you interviewed.
hmm On Lance's, he was asking me a bunch of questions, and Paige was not very happy with my answers because they were like short and making my life sound super boring. And I told her like
You were just trying to get it.
I
back
couldn't
on
give him
him,
all the lore. I can't let all the audience know whether I'm interesting or uninteresting.
That's true. Plus, you're essentially trying to keep the spotlight kind of on your guest, right?
Yeah.
That's hard.
That's why I ask a lot of the questions I do, is because I suppose that I'm the mouthpiece of the audience. Like I've seen podcasts where they
I think that's
talk
a good way to look at
as
it.
though the audience was there for that.
Mhm.
And so I ask a lot of questions. Is like, I was there for that, but pretend I wasn't,
Yeah.
And even Benny was saying that it was awkward to deal with because I don't know. I don't remember if this part got edited out. I listened to it, but I don't remember if he said it. But he's saying one of the hardest things about the podcast was not just going, well, you were there.
Yeah.
he did.
Yeah, he did say
Yeah.
that. That's I was thinking that too, because you interviewing him, it's like it's almost you. At least if I was in your shoes, it would be hard to come up with questions for him, just because you subconsciously already know a lot about him, because he's your brother.
Mhm.
So I thought you did really good with that,
Thank you.
and then it would be tough for him to be like try to talk to you like you don't know him.
Hmm.
But
Um,
it's fun though. I like that you guys are interviewing family and people that we know and stuff, because it's like I was saying at the beginning, like it's you think you know somebody a lot, but you learn more,
mhm.
and it's really cool.
You learn a little bit about someone. We might learn things
Yeah.
about your dad that you don't know.
That's true.
Probably will.
mm,
That's guaranteed.
last year, right after my wedding, I went on a family trip to Lake Powell.
Uh-huh.
I was talking to Uncle Zach up there, or down there. He was like this close to being on the Olympic skiing team for Utah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't
He
know
like
that.
injured his knees somehow, or like got something so that his knees would be easier to injure in all the training he was doing, and that's why he didn't make it on. Because
Crazy. What?
yeah,
That's pretty cool.
but he was saying he was at like triple black diamond, I think, and one black diamond means you can die on this course, and he was doing triple black diamond.
Whoa. I didn't know they had ratings for
Me
like
neither, but
death on a ski course. That's cool though.
I know.
Triple?
I've known him all my life. He's my dad's best friend.
Yeah.
It's Tegan's dad. Tegan's one of my best friends, and I went to his house all the time. Never knew that about him.
Crazy.
And then, right after that, someone was like, "Wait, did I just hear you were on this Olympic skiing team?" And he's like, "I've been skiing once or twice."
Oh, he's a punk for that.
I know. I don't know.
I would be
think it
curious
was
how
like-
old he was.
Somewhere between 19 and 24.
That's interesting. But
yeah.
that also kind of goes into everybody has something to teach.
Mm-hmm.
Always. Everybody kind of always has something that you didn't know that they could share.
I did want to mention earlier. You said before that having the longer hair makes you look younger.
Uh-huh.
Having facial hair makes you look older. Like
I know.
I'm 21. When I turned 20 at work, because I've had a beard as long as I could, I think it looks good. On me, particularly, you know. When I turned 20 at work, they announced my birthday, give me a little $50 gift card, go over. One of the guys there is like, "Hey, happy birthday, man. How old are you?" And I said, "I'm 20." And he goes, "Whoa. I thought you were 26.
We used to get that with Danny, because he would get a beard and he's just built.
Yeah, he's
He's a
hulkish.
man. So it's like, then you have me.
You guys don't look the same age
Uh-uh.
at all.
Like, it's funny. We tease because he looks more Kunzy and I actually look more Kelchy, even though I'm a Kunz and he's a Kelch.
Mhm.
But yeah, there was a point in my life when people thought that me and Lorenzo were twins. And then we upgraded to now people think that Lorenzo's my older brother. And then there was a couple of walks. Like, we took the boys trick-or-treating, me and Danny. And they're like, "Oh, do the dads want something to drink?" I'm like, "Yes." But then they're like, "Oh, it's just one dad." I'm like, "Oh." Because he just got a full beard and I'm over here looking like just a teenage punk. I mean, it does, I guess dress style probably attributes to it.
Yeah.
Got my leather bands and
Dads don't wear leather cuffs.
yeah. And I think I just have maybe it's the humorous attitude. I don't know.
Maybe.
I will try growing a beard when I can with faith, and then it will make me look 10 years older. Because it would be nice. I mean, I'm hoping that looking young now will make, like, maybe be helpful in the future, and then people will be like, "Wow, you aged so well. You aged like a fine wine." I'll be like, "Yeah." Silver Fox. But I just roll with it now. I'm not upset about it. It is funny though. Some people forget every time though. There's some people in the family that are like, "Oh, dude, I haven't seen you in forever," and they forget that I'm like older than them by like a lot too.
So last Friday when we were trying to get somebody on, I tried to get you on, and then you had Tavy's thing.
Yep.
Every single person was busy that day, and June was begging me not to do a podcast that day. Not begging, but she was like,
She
"Are
was
you
like,
doing a podcast today?" And I was like, "I'm trying to." And she was like, I would like it if you didn't, because I want to watch them all live."
And she was busy.
"That's cute.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun." So she was willing it into existence.
She said that.
Also, she's hilarious. You should hang out with us at lunch sometime, because she started
Does
working
she
at
eat
Pop
lunch
with
with
us.
you guys?
Yeah.
That's fun. I'd go in and listen.
Lady will like complain about how she doesn't want to work at Popular, or this person or that person was doing something, and June goes off at her. It's so funny.
That's fun. I love working with family. Like, I think that's everybody's dream, is to be able to work with their own kids, and then it grows to be more, and then suddenly you now have a bunch of people you know, and it's I know that people think that it's like nepotistic, and I think every company has nepotism. Like that's just how it works. Like most people get hired because they hear about it from a friend. That's nepotism, but
I'd say that nepotism only becomes a problem when you're like giving your son a raise when he doesn't deserve one.
yeah. Well, I think once nepotism goes bad, usually the company just fails. But with most dads, they usually just make their sons work harder than the rest and still get paid the same. So there isn't usually a problem. And I think people that complain about nepotism, yeah, there's places with nepotism, but that business isn't going to last long. And most of the time, you're just looking for something to complain about, and you need to look for, like, whenever you're thinking about complaining, just think about what you can actually change, because the only person that you can change is yourself. So don't be trying to change people or change the environment. Just leave or change yourself. At least in my mind.
I'll change the settings sometimes though. Make little edits here and there. That's what lean is all about.
Make it lean with other people and they're complaining. You guys complain a lot. Let's lean it out so you can complain faster to me so I can get it over with. Sell that in a book. And
Maybe I
some
should
guys
do
might
that.
buy it. Skip dialogue, but too many guys are going to use it on their wives.
No, I should just write a book on
Oh,
how
no.
to stop complaining. Clean up everybody's workforce. Nobody complains anymore suddenly.
Yeah. I believe in people having responsibility for themselves always. So it's like complaining. Like in the Bible, God kind of cracks down on the Israelites anytime they complain. On most anybody when they start complaining. Because I think at the end of the day, you are responsible for you always. And you do have the power to change what is happening to you or affect it. To me. But you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right.
I can
Do
only
your
hope that
outro.
there's more meat left at the barbecue.
What barbecue?
Uncle Zach's having barbecue tonight.
Oh, dang it.
Should we have ended early?
No, it's fine. We can still roll up.
I plan to.
Good.
And until next time, this has been the Open Chapter Society. Thank you for coming. Good day. It's pretty cool of your dad to stick around that whole time. Now he knows that we want to have him on.
Yeah. I thought I'd chug this.
I did.
I'll take both these cups to the... Your